just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The sale of controlling interest in the Celtics to a group of investors led by Bill Chisholm unanimously approved by the NBA's Board of Governors yesterday. The league says the $6.1 billion sale expected to close shortly. NBA will release its schedule today. The league announcing the Celtics will play the Knicks October 24th in the first game of their new streaming deal with Amazon Prime. Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon has agreed to buy the Portland Trail Blazers for over $4 billion. Reports say he will keep it in Portland. Today, day 2 of joint practices with the Patriots and Vikings out in Minnesota. Among those not taking part yesterday, Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Gonzalez, and Hunter Henry. Corner Carlton Davis was limited. Pats and Vikings will play a preseason game on Saturday. Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders missed his team's joint practice with the Eagles yesterday. Sanders reportedly injured an oblique muscle. Red Sox pitchers allowed 4 hits, but 2 of them were home runs. Astros beat the Sox 4-1, take 2 out of 3 in that series. Sox open a 5-game homestand tomorrow night with 3 straight against the Marlins. And Braintree plays the first game of its Little League World Series run this afternoon, 3 p.m. start against Irmo, South Carolina. Headlines are brought to you by Catchus Law. At Catchus, they specialize in helping those who have been injured, not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchusLaw.com. I'm Ryan Johnston. I'm Boston's home for sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in around 30 minutes.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app, the 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
And Hardy.
Who's Taylor the originator?
On 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth. I miss booty.
That problem is too large for the starch.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
And I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
He's faster guy in a lot of ways. Like, Gunnar was a functional human being. Like, Gunnar would come into studio and, like, Gunnar, like you said, had a job. And, Gunnar, like, lived a life. The Chili guy was completely out of his mind. And the faster guy...
Make a lot faster.
I never met the faster guy, but apparently and I didn't ever want to see a picture of him. So like the faster guy, to my knowledge, looked sort of normal and
Faster.
yeah, and he just disappeared, and I don't think he died. Like I don't think the faster guy was homeless. Like you know what I'm saying? Gunnar wasn't homeless. Chili guy was homeless, and we didn't. I mean, I guess there was maybe like a moment where we did, but we certainly like adjusted at a certain point very quickly, not having like homeless people like that we kind of stopped doing that, and so we just looked for odd people. And the Gunner had a house, and he had a nice house, like a really nice house, because he of course inherited it and made good use of it.
I met the Gunner because I was around right at the tail end of the Gunner, and I remember meeting him at one of the shows. I forget where we were, personal appearance. I don't know where it was, but I met the Gunner. The Gunner had stains on his 2 fingers from the liggets he would smoke, and the Gunner was so thin.
Yes,
he was. Let's say he was 5'9". He was like 90 pounds.
Yes.
He was clear, the Gunner.
Yes.
You could see through him. It was scary, but he talked to me at length about the bridge job he had, raising the bridge and lowering the bridge.
That penny drinking contest.
Yeah.
Yes.
He you know why he didn't die, like that's why he wasn't on the show anymore. He stopped when the Sports Hub came on and we switched signals and we went to 98.5.
Yeah.
He stayed at the old WBCN signal.
Right.
And he like didn't adjust his radio. So, like, to him, we didn't exist anymore.
Right.
Like,
So you guys died.
yes.
Basically, for him.
Yeah, like he stopped calling in, and apparently he started calling into the other morning show. And yeah, he was. Well, Gunnar was around. See, when you do afternoons, you're privy to like way more crazy people because in the mornings, crazy people are not awake. Like, but in the afternoon, and Gunnar wasn't crazy. I should say eccentric people. Gunnar wasn't crazy. Yeah. Faster guy was, and Chili guy was, but but Gunnar wasn't crazy. But you're privy to like odder characters, like the later in the day you are. If you're doing nights, which I did in Atlanta, I mean, it was a cavalcade. I mean, you could just answer the phone and there's maniacs, and it was great. And afternoons was kind of the same way. At mornings, you don't get that as much because it's more people going to work. I mean, you'll get a Rock and Roll Mike, but I don't know what happened to Rock and Roll Mike. But Rock and Roll Mike was too wild to have in studio. We had him in one.
Rock and Roll Mike lives outside.
Yeah, so like we had him in, and that was like that was
what
too
a
much.
disaster that was. Oh my God, that was awful.
It was edgy.
He was the best part about that particular day is that he came in, and the guy from Machine came in a little after that. But Rock and Roll Mike is sitting next to me, and of course the stench coming off of him is one thing. You were at least across the room. I was sitting next to him. And you're like sitting at the bottom of a dumpster when you're sitting next to him. And,
no, he lives outside.
Well, yes, he does. But he would say stuff, and that morning he could not stop himself from swearing, regardless of how many times you told him not to.
Right.
He would just let go of the F-bomb, and then we'd go to commercial, and he'd sit and start talking to me like we were at a dinner party. He's like, I really shouldn't have done that. I can't understand why I keep swearing. And then he'd go do it again 30 seconds later when the mics came on.
Well,
it was the weirdest experience.
Well, the last time I
Yell at people.
last time I saw Rock and Roll Mike is we did a show at the Wilbur, if you'll recall, John, and Rock and Roll Mike camped outside taking photos for money with people.
And then he started busking. I remember.
Yes, and apparently he was very handsy. Now, this was not a sanctioned appearance. He was doing this on his own.
He called before and said, I'm going to be there. All right, great, Mike. That's all right,
I mean, you can't
Mike,
stop
do your
him.
thing.
I mean, he never came in. I mean, you can't stop him for being outside.
And
I mean,
then-
that's public land.
Then he called afterwards, gave us a recap.
Yeah.
He was still out there when we left. I remember we left out the side door, not the front door.
No, we left out the side door.
To make sure that we didn't run into him.
But yeah, it used to be that you could just go outside and every time you went to go get audio, and it's nothing anyone's doing wrong anymore. It just there was in the aughts. You could just go by Fenway, and it was before they did all the construction and all the new buildings and everything. And, there were just odd people everywhere out by Fenway. In Brookline, there were a ton of odd people. Like, you could just walk around and run into them. And it's just not like that anymore. I think all the high-priced condos and apartment buildings.
Yeah, you're right. It's the gentrification pushes all of the character out of a neighborhood, including the characters in a neighborhood.
Yeah, because I had never lived in an area with that big a concentration of oddities, like people that were just odd. In Brookline, like Coolidge Corner, like there you couldn't walk 2 feet without running into like some character. And not like dangerous or anything. I mean, sometimes it was uncomfortable for the person who was getting the audio, like Adolfo. And remember Indiana Jones? Were you around for Indiana Jones guy?
No, I was not. That was before me.
Yeah, Indiana Jones guy was a guy who dressed like Indiana Jones. And again, I don't think he was homeless. And, you don't know. But I don't think he was homeless because apparently he dressed like Indiana Jones, like a kind of like a archaeologist professor or something like that, and he would rile himself up pretty good and start getting kind of like quasi-violent, so you had to worry about that.
I met again the first appearance that we had as a new show. I met P and Pete.
Well, P and Pete,
I met that
could
guy.
never come on the show again. Yeah.
No. I talked with him for about 5 minutes and I understood that immediately. I met Miss Feet.
Well,
but that's a whole different
that's a
section.
whole other section.
But these are the characters that I met along with the gunner, and I
You probably met Playboy Crystal.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, you met all those girls, but P and Pete. Like now, we were looking for someone, and we had like listeners bring someone in, and these listeners brought in P and P, and he was out of his mind. And then they brought him to a live show we were doing with the Dropkick Murphys, and P and Pete came in and took one look at me and did not like me, and he started like lunging at me and coming at me, and it was funny because I had no interactions with P and P. He was just, and probably not in a wrong way. He just had decided that I was someone that he did not care for, and that he did not like me. By the looks of me, he said, I don't like this guy. It wasn't like he came in and like I probably did say stuff, but like it was after. It wasn't. He didn't like walk in and I went, "Oh, P and Pete, you suck" or something like that.
Right.
Like he just walked in and like glared and like came at me. Like he just did not like the looks of me. And then it was more like, I wonder if P and Pete should be here at all. Like, not for me, but just for public safety.
Right.
P and Pete. So P and Pete then was never on the show again.
Sure.
P and Pete was someone who was in the woods by these guys' houses, and they brought him in.
So it's really fortunate that I met him. It was kind of a harmonic convergence. He shouldn't have been there.
We didn't meet P and Pete. Guys brought P and Pete in, and then P and Pete came in, and for whatever reason, he showed up at that gig. I don't know if we invited him or those guys just brought him. It wasn't like
That
a
could
big
be.
thing. It wasn't like, oh, this is P and Pete's. He wasn't part of the gig. It was the Dropkick Murphys playing. Like, we didn't really do anything except broadcast from there. And when P and Pete came in, he did not like me. I can't blame him, but he did not like me. He was no fan. But yeah, those guys don't exist anymore. I mean, we've tried. And for years and years and years, for like a decade, not like recently, like for maybe over a decade. So 19 years I've been here, over 19 years. Yeah, probably 15 years. It hasn't been that easy, because when we first started, go out to get those drunken Red Sox recaps, which quickly the drunks became boring because it's just, who wants to hear a drunk that much? So you had to find, odd people, and that was really easy. And then it got impossible, and it wasn't. Adolfo didn't change, like nothing changed. It was just, it wasn't the people it's not like Nick's not finding them. It's just that they're not around. I mean, if you go to a Red Sox game, you'll see it.
Yeah, everything's been smoothed out. The last time that Adolfo or Nick, I don't know if Nick ever talked to the Faster guy. It all runs together over the years, but it's been 10 years since we last talked to the Faster guy?
Oh no, John, it's been longer than that. How long has this?
16. Almost 16.
So it's been 15, 16 years since we talked to the Faster guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
He was so great.
Well, you ran into him not only at Fenway, but there were a couple of times where Adolfo ran into him near the Garden.
Yeah, he was the Garden, not Fenway. I think he was the Garden. But yeah, it just, and even as like a resident of Boston, I really liked going to Fenway Park and having like it be like a bunch of characters. Like, I did enjoy that, but despite the radio, it's so vanilla now, and it's not any fun. Like, I mean, it's fun to go to a game, but it's not what it was. It used to be.
It's become corporate. Fenway used to be a neighborhood ballpark, and now they urban renewed everyone right out of there. I mean, it's different by design. I mean, that's what ownership wanted for a long time. And so they blew everybody, all the old buildings out of there. And now it's a lot like other ballparks where you have a bunch of chain restaurants and nice areas and, expensive condos and office buildings. And congratulations.
It's funny because I don't feel like I don't feel like a part of the city really, because I don't think you do unless you grew up somewhere. But it's the changes that have gone on. I remember the guys that own the shoe store, the sneaker store Bodega.
Yep.
they had an art installation, like a art show, like 3 doors down from Fenway, because it was just some building that was empty that they got for the like 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was an empty building by Fenway that you could just go, oh, I want this for 2 nights. Like, and it wasn't.
That's the building going down towards the hospital.
Yes.
Yes, I know what that is.
Yes,
Yep.
and you
Or
could
was.
Yeah, it would. Well, it's certainly not there any. I mean, you couldn't do that anymore. A sneaker as successful as they are.
Yeah.
A sneaker store couldn't just go, oh, can I have this building? There was nothing in it, and they're like, can we have this build? And like that kind of stuff was cool. Jesus, when I first moved here, all those punk clubs were still out by the Garden, and I wasn't here for the old Garden. I wasn't here before the Big Dig.
The old Garden had character in spades. The old
Yeah, I
Garden,
know.
the neighborhood around the old Garden had strip clubs across the street.
Yeah, but that was like a crappy neighborhood. Like Fenway wasn't a crappy neighborhood.
No,
and they had the Fens, which was so great.
Yep.
Because it was a gay cruising place. Like that was great. There were gay guys like just banging in the brush, and that's not an exaggeration.
All you had to do was jingle your keys.
So and then that burned down, and then now, and like a lot of that burned down, and then that was kind of like what got rid of that. But I mean, and I don't know. Looking back, I've been told some of that was staged, which I hate to say. But the stuff Adolfo got was not staged. And I don't know what was staged and what wasn't staged, or if it necessarily was. Some people have hinted that it was, which I never knew. But like when Adolfo went to the Fens to talk to people, that was not staged. Like he would just go to the Fens and there would be like, hey, Ron, you taking pictures? Like there were just guys there.
Just pop their
gay
heads up
dudes
out of the
cruising.
weeds. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if the video with the keys and the guy behind the tree, like, and I found this out like 6 months ago. I'm not positive that wasn't orchestrated, but I don't know for a fact. Adam, are you the one who told me you thought that was orchestrated?
No, but again, could have been.
Yeah, that seems like a little too convenient, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's someone told me, Adolfo told me that he thought it might have been.
Okay.
It might have been. But Adolfo also is very bitter.
Adolfo.
But but when Adolfo would go out there and like see those guys, like there would be guys roller skating around with boom boxes. Like it wasn't hard. Like he would just go, "Hey, can I talk to you?" They'd be like, "Hello," and then and then there was a whole scene there where they were just cruising and like doing stuff to each other in the weeds. Like it was like a whole thing.
You would bring pictures. I remember Adolfo brought pictures.
Yeah, I mean that was real.
Here, what do you think about this guy?
The only thing I'm not positive, and I'm not, and again I don't know, and I'm not besmirching anyone. It's just Adolfo told me that the key thing with the guy behind the tree, but maybe I hope it was. I don't know if it was.
I prefer to think of it as genuine. Don't ruin it.
Well,
for
I
me.
really thought it was genuine, and I don't know that it's not. It's just Adolfo said that he kind of said it was.
The word I got, and I remember Adolfo showed up with pictures. I think of Gresh, and there was John Dennis, and then a couple other people.
That's right. And the guy wanted to give John Dennis a bubble bath.
He did, and the word was afterwards. I don't have confirmation of this. The word was afterwards. Dino was not happy. Not happy at all about it.
He didn't want a bubble bath?
No, apparently not.
Wow, he has such a great sense of humor.
He was really angry about that particular bit.
I remember I was at a beer.
Did he not like the picture you used?
I was at a beer festival that I had to do an appearance at. And I just remember John Dennis and I going back and forth on Twitter, and John was older than me when he was doing it.
Yes, I remember that.
Like I can't see doing that.
Then there was a time he got on Twitter and threatened to beat me up because I had besmirched his girlfriend somehow.
Yeah, and then that gross guy that covers the Red Sox over there was a piece of garbage too. Be Real says Adam has no idea how easy he has it booking sports writers. Please, I had to wrangle P and Pete, Gunner, Quincy Briscoe, find a turkey to perform cannibalism. Yeah, there were many things.
It was a golden era.
Will the turkey eat turkey?
That's right. Will the turkey eat turkey?
Which I'm not even sure you could. You probably couldn't do that anymore.
No.
Which is so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
that.
so,
Yeah, that would that is funny to think about how upset people would get if we. Did that
and it's
bit
just
today.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like a turkey eating, like a turkey ate it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't. Like,
Right.
It wasn't like
It's a turkey. It's a dumb bird. It'll put anything you put in front of it.
Right.
It's one of
Like,
the
you
dumbest
mean,
birds.
Again, if you dropped a turkey sandwich on the road, a turkey would eat it.
Of course.
Like, I mean, the idea that people would get mad about that is so funny to me. Like, will a turkey eat turkey? You made a turkey eat turkey. Well, we didn't make it do anything. We just put turkey on the ground.
Went to a local supermarket.
Right, exactly. And someone brought a turkey in. We didn't hurt the turkey. All right. We will be back. We'll catch everyone up with what happened last night. Ryan Johnston is here. We will have him for the whole show. We'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
Blue Chew is the first chewables that give you confidence in the bedroom. Go to BlueChew.com today, enter the promo code HUB to get your first month free. Just pay $5 shipping.
Summers one. wallet.
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch the game last night?
We are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Jonathan, what happened last evening, my friend? Oh, I'm sorry. This is going to happen several times. Go ahead.
All right, let's start with the Red Sox. They wrapped up a 3-game series in Houston last night. Walker Buehler making the start. Buehler's been a disaster at times this season. He entered last night's game with an ERA of 5.40. However, his ERA in the first inning of all of his starts was even worse. It's over 8.
Pena hits it deep to left field towards us, and it's gone into the Crawford boxes. JP3 visits us here in the Crawford boxes for a 1-0 lead.
Boy, how about those Crawford boxes? They are that was so nice they named them twice.
A little bit of fun for the Houston guys last night, broadcasting from the Houston equivalent of the monster seats.
Yeah, I mean, how many? I mean, the Crawford boxes. I get it.
Yeah,
they're in the Crawford boxes. By the way, that park is like the walls are 100 feet away from home.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Short porch out there in left.
I saw Pujols like kill someone in the stands there. So like, I'm not so convinced that's the biggest deal in the world.
Jeremy Pena, that was who was up at the time, hit a 3-1 fastball into those Crawford boxes, Fred, to hand Houston a 1-0 lead. 5 pitches into Buehler's outing. He allowed 2 runs in that inning to put the Sox in an immediate hole after one, but after that, he settled down and the Red Sox got a run back.
And that's going to float into the outfield, a base hit. And Trevor Story is in. Abreu
sailing
third. He'll
into
stop
the
there.
outfield.
To get the Red Sox on the scoreboard tonight.
It was floating, see.
I see.
Yeah.
That was Christopher Cross.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Sox down 2-1 after 2. And that's where it stayed until the 6th inning. So it's still 2-1. Jarren Duran walked to lead off. He took second on a balk by Astros starter Hunter Brown and was on third base with 2 outs, Fred. Romy Gonzalez up, and on a pitch to him, the Red Sox dugout started screaming for the umpires to call another balk. That would have tied the game. However, the umps, after a long discussion, disagreed. Gonzalez grounded out on the next pitch to end the inning, and that turned out to be huge when the Astros came to bat in the bottom of the 6th.
As he drills one high and deep to left field, all the way back and gone. Yainer Diaz, a 2-run home run with 2 outs in the 6th. And the Astros now up 4-1.
Oh, out here with the folks. I need me a Yainer bomb, and I got it.
He's drinking, Fred. Jaeger bomb?
Yeah.
That's not right.
No.
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
It's very unprofessional.
Right, so that makes it 4-1, and things are not looking good. Buehler allowed 4 runs in 6 innings. He got 13 out of 14 hitters out in one stretch, but the beginning and the end were not good. After the 6th inning was over, Fred, and the Sox are coming up to bat for the 7th, down 4-1, Alex Cora, still apparently not happy about the balk call, came out to discuss things with home plate umpire Ryan Blakeney. He was promptly ejected. Cora said afterwards the crew got the non-call correct, and honestly, he wasn't trying to get in anyone's face.
I went out there just to educate myself, to be honest with you. That's what I told him. I want to learn. I want to know. I don't know if he took it that I was being sarcastic. I wasn't. Then I was walking back, and he threw me out.
By the way, Blakeney is the Major League Baseball equivalent of Ed Hockley. He is one of those guys that is legit popping out of his uniform. He is so jacked. It's uncomfortable to look at him.
It's almost like you're making up for being someone that society looks down upon. That's my take of the guys who get really big that are officials, is that they want you to know, like, I might not be playing, but I could be.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole Hockley thing. Like, everyone look at me like I'm not like a ratty tattletale official. I'm a big, huge stud.
But it's worse because baseball, if you're too jacked, you can't play. So this guy has all different issues going on. That
Just ask Giancarlo Stanton. Who hurts himself walking to the plate.
Remember Ruben Sierra, another guy who got overly jacked and watched his performance go into the tank. Ryan, when you broadcast games, I assume there are officials that you look at that do the same thing, where they're just so incredibly physically fit. You're like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing out there?
In hockey,
yeah,
it seems like there's too much exercise.
Yeah,
like,
those guys are on their feet for like 3 hours straight on skates. Like nobody's jacked.
Nobody's jacked.
They're all marathon runners.
Yeah,
they're all thin.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm guessing that. I mean, there's probably some study about how many like miles they skate a season. It's got to be hundreds of miles a season in skating.
They're also not wearing pads, so they're standing next to a Zdeno Chara-sized guy. Nobody's going to look big.
That's true.
I mean, and then you got to get out of the way, and you got to keep. That's the sport, because at least if you're in home plate ump, you get hit with a ball, now it can hurt, but you still have equipment on.
There's probably a few of the linesmen that are pretty jacked underneath those uniforms, just because they're the guys who have to tear everybody apart.
That's true. You got to break up the Milan Lucic, Zdeno Chara, John Scott fights.
Well, I saw a Playgirl, men of the officials of the NHL, and I got to tell you that a lot of them have nothing to be ashamed of.
I got you.
They could hurt someone with that thing. I mean, it's almost too big.
So the Cora going out to talk with Mr. Pumpkin Jack did not work. The move didn't spark the team, and although they did get the tying run to the plate in the ninth, the Sox still lost 4-1. They had runners on first and second, and nobody out.
Nobody out, and they couldn't score. Yeah.
Couldn't score. So Sox wind up 2-4 in a 6-game road trip. They're a game and a half behind Seattle now for the top wild card in the American League. Houston has gone back ahead of Seattle for first place in the West.
By the way, playing in Seattle is going to suck. The Red Sox would like to avoid that. I don't. So what's the deal?
I'm going to look it up. I don't know. Off the top
it's
of my
best of 3. Do you play 2?
All 3 games.
All 3 is right there. Yeah. So like I don't think playing in Seattle, because I didn't know if it was just the third wild card, play the division winner all on the road. But the thing is that like I wouldn't want to play in Seattle. That's something I'd want to make up quick. I don't like their chances playing in Seattle. 3 games.
I'm getting the season series together here. Why did it drop down? Give me this.
Well, they have the tiebreaker against Houston.
Yes, they have 3-3 tie. I don't know what the extra tiebreaker is.
Well, I'm just saying if Seattle beats them.
No, what I'm saying is it makes a difference playing in Seattle versus playing in Boston. But the team split the 6-game series, so I don't know what the second tiebreaker is.
Yeah, I know, but right now they're a game and a half back. I'm just saying because there was a while where they were going to be the number 1 wild card team.
Yep.
And then I think that's a huge advantage. I mean, it is a huge advantage. I mean, you're playing at home, and the Red Sox are much better at home. You've got to fly across the country and play Seattle. I don't like that. And a Seattle team that's all in, a Seattle team that's never won a World Series, a Seattle team with an opportunity to win a World Series this year.
Yeah, a Seattle team that is, as you said, all in. But this is more so than any other year, because every other year they've kind of dipped their toe in and brought in one guy or brought in another guy. This is the year. If they don't do it this year, there will be massive disappointment for the organization and whatever fan base. I don't know how loyal the fans are.
Well, the fan base is going to be, I'd have to imagine, super into it. They have one of the biggest stories in Major League Baseball with their catcher. They have, they went all in at the trade deadline, and they were the big story at the trade deadline. I mean, since Ken Griffey Jr. was there, and even when Ken Griffey Jr. was there, I think there was probably one season where they were on the map, and that was the one where they Randy Johnson, and they won that. What was it? They won the playoff series against the Yankees or something. Whatever, that year.
Yes,
I recall Seattle having a lot of heat around them. They had the best record in baseball.
Right. They lost in the ALCS to the Yankees that year. But the year you're talking about, I think, was 94, 95, where Griffey scored from first base on the double. And then they, I think, lost. It was 95. They lost to Cleveland in the ALCS that year.
Yeah. So Seattle, in my lifetime, has very seldom been the story in baseball. So I'd imagine that Seattle will be on fire.
Yeah.
Whoever they play.
Yeah.
So I would like to avoid that if I was the Red Sox.
So the Sox go 2-4 on this road trip. They have tonight off. They'll pitch Lucas Giolito against Miami at Fenway Park tomorrow evening. And Roman Anthony, he's a rookie. He got on base 5 times Tuesday night with a home run. Last night, 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts.
Oh, well, that's an excuse.
That's it. He's no longer top prospect eligible. Throw him away.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, who has a day like that?
I know.
I mean, 162 games, over.
He was on deck. If they had on deck when the last out was made, if they had just gotten to him, I'm sure he would have come up with the massive heroics. But Red Sox lose.
When you pop up, strike out, and how did that end? It was a pop up with the runners on first and second. I know there was a pop up and a strikeout. What was the last one?
I think it was a ground out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
no, I mean but again, that goes back to fundamental baseball. I mean, Jaron Duran, we talked about the inning where Duran was stranded on third because of the non-balk call. Duran was on second with nobody out, and they couldn't score him. And they needed a balk to get him to second base. He wasn't moved over. And in the last inning, first and second, nobody out. You're down 3 runs. You can't score.
And that's a bad series to lose in all seriousness because you have the tiebreaker against the Houston. Houston's only up 1 game on Seattle. Seattle could easily win that division.
You beat Houston, you're a half a game behind them.
Yes.
For that top wild card. And all of these, now you're saying, okay, there's still 6 weeks left of the season. No, all of these games matter.
Well, and you also
all
don't play
them.
Houston again.
Yes.
So, I take it you don't play Houston again.
No,
there's no way they play Houston
right,
again.
They'd
so,
already won the season series.
Right, exactly. And so if you win that game, that was if they lost 10-0, it's not that big a deal, but they had every opportunity to win that game last night, and not winning that might be something you look back upon and go, oh, that would have been nice.
And getting back to what we've been harping on for a couple of months, all of these small things this time of year matter.
Yes.
In playoff games, they're going to really matter. And this team continues to do those things poorly. Against all odds, they put together a very good season for themselves, far greater than I ever thought they'd be. And here they are in playoff position. And these little things are killing them because they've killed them every night.
Well, no one buy tickets to the Miami game series because I might want to go on Saturday. I don't need everyone running the. No one from Miami is going to come into town. So I don't need anyone running up these ticket prices. These jabronis around here. Okay. Let the common man have these tickets.
You're taking Zoe, right?
Zoe's going to be in New York City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's very into the ballet, so she's going to 3 ballets.
Vicious head shape there.
No, she is. She's going with her mother to New York. They go every year to New York City.
Nice.
She's going to go see Mamma Mia, is what she's seeing.
Oh, good.
She's seeing Mamma Mia.
I was trapped into seeing that once myself. So.
And then she's going on a walking tour of the old Times Square, where they show where all the peep shows were. That's a big thing that they're into.
Talk about an education.
70s New York City.
Hey.
Oh, you're not? Oh, thank you for clarifying that. No, Zoe is. They go to Mamma Mia. They go out to eat. It's a wonderful thing.
Very sad, by the way. This is her last day with us.
Yeah, but she's making a video. Adam it was very smart. He's got her making a video of a day in the life. It starts at our house. It's in the car coming here.
Oh.
Pre-show meeting. She'll have a video of every hour of the show. Then she'll have what is going to be at least a staged post-show meeting because both of us have to go. My son's getting his my son's getting his wisdom teeth out, and I don't have to be there, but I desperately want to see him
there.
Up after it's
you
over.
You can't miss that. No,
My youngest had it happen. We did that a couple weeks ago, and it was hilarious. And they requested, they were like, make video afterwards. I want to see what it's like.
Yeah, I think that his mother is going to make a video because I'm sure Zoe wants to see it. Yeah,
yes.
She definitely wants. And she has these questions she wants me to ask him. She wants me to ask him if he's dating anyone. She wants me to ask
it's like
him.
truth serum.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He wants. I don't. Well, he's not. But I don't think he is. But then she wants me to ask him why he doesn't go to the gym that we pay for more often. There's a lot of things she once asked for him.
Good.
You're never going to get another opportunity like this.
No.
I know.
And
true.
so, it's funny because, I remember when I got my wisdom teeth pulled, I was, really out of it. And I'm like, I want to go to 7-Eleven. And my mom, I don't remember any of this. And my mom took me to 7-Eleven, and I didn't come out. And then she went in, and I was laying down asleep by the Slurpee machines.
Oh.
I had taken a snooze. But this I do remember. My mother had a job, and she dropped me at home, and she goes, I got to go out and work. And I was like, okay, because the prescriptions weren't ready. And I remember everything wearing off. and the pain starting and having no access to pain medicine because my mother had not been bringing it back, and there was no cell phones. So I was calling Dr. Nemeth's office where she worked and desperately trying to get in touch with her, and she was not there. I was none pleased. And then she got home, and I started yelling at her about how much pain I was in, and she started to cry and yell at me.
Good times.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at your pain.
Well,
it's just another brick in the wall.
Well, it's just I learned a lot about women that day. I'm like, oh, so you're crying because I'm upset that you left up. Okay. I get it.
Okay.
I'm the one who's the bad person.
Actually, that did train you for later life. Good for you.
Well,
we're taking that lesson.
There's some things that happen that you can't control. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
NBA's Board of Governors yesterday unanimously approving the $6.1 billion sale of the Celtics to a group of investors led by Bill Chisholm. League says that sale is expected to close shortly. Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon has agreed to buy the Portland Trail Blazers. Reports say he will keep the Blazers in Portland. NBA will release its full schedule today. Left off the Christmas Day slate, Celtics will play in Detroit as part of a nationally televised MLK Day quadruple header January 19th. Patriots in Minnesota for the second of two joint practices with the Vikings. Teams will play a preseason game on Saturday. Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Gonzalez, Hunter Henry all missing yesterday's session. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones revealing he was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma back in 2010 and has undergone 2 lung surgeries, 2 lymph node surgeries, and was part of an experimental drug trial he says has left him tumor-free. Red Sox lost 4-1 in Houston last night. They've dropped 4 out of 5. After an off day today, they'll host the Marlins for 3 starting tomorrow night. And Braintree plays its first game at the Little League World Series this afternoon. 3 p.m. start against Irmo, South Carolina. Sports Hub headlines brought to you by Super Service Today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning. Day or night, always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines around 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hood.
And I have had many offers to become an insider. We are Toucher and Hardy, Ryan Johnston, voice of your Boston Bruins. In for he's still doing the he still comes in and fills in.
I can't believe it's almost time. I mean, we're about a month away. From camp.
Yeah, camp opens in just over a month.
Jeez.
Now, do you have to go to every day of camp? Like, do you have to be there?
I don't have to, but I probably will be.
Because like Sosi went to Minnesota with the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to Zolak about this because Zolak's not going until Saturday morning, and I'm like, Sosi doesn't have to be there. Like, Sosi doesn't have to be there. I think you have to be there more than Sosi has to be there. There's so much going on at a training camp practice, and that you can't see with football. That like I debate whether Sosi has to be there. Now it's good that he goes, I suppose, and I'm not judging him for going. But I would imagine with hockey, it's a lot easier to take in.
Yeah. I mean, hockey practice is hockey practice.
No, I know.
There's
I've been
not
to
too
one.
much that
No, I have no idea
tends
what
to
they're
jump out
doing.
at you.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing. The only thing I ever saw that I thought was interesting, and Jaffe swears I didn't see it, but I did. I was in Brighton meeting with someone, and I went out, and it wasn't a practice, and I went out, and Bacchus, there was a coach in goal, but he had pads on, and there was a coach taking slap shots, and Bacchus was standing in front of the net, working on tipping pucks in, and Jaffe swears that's not a drill they do, and I swear I saw it, because I remember thinking how much it would suck, because you're just standing in front of the net. I mean, the guy wasn't ripping 100-mile-an-hour slap shots, but he was shooting the puck in the vicinity of Bacchus. Is that something they do, or did I?
Oh yeah, guys will work on it. Usually that's more of an individual thing.
No, it was an individual thing,
before or after practice, guys will go out.
Billy.
Those are the types of things you see. I remember, and Beersy talked about this on the air right after it happened. We were in Detroit last year. We went to morning skate, and after Detroit had finished skating, Pasternak came out. He was first one on the ice. This is when things were kind of at their bleakest, and he was about the only guy left on the team. He was out on the ice a good 15, 20 minutes before everybody else, and he was just puck handling. He's setting up pucks, 6 inches apart from each other. He's puck handling through lines of that. And it was like, Bearsy and I kind of looked at each other like, where's everybody else? This guy's one of the superstars in the league, and he's out here doing all this. Everybody else is in the locker room.
And you know what?
So it's that kind of stuff that you pick up on more than anything else.
And it sounds corny, but that's probably why he's one of the superstars in the league.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like those guys who, it's like there's a reason Zdeno Chara was so great. There's a reason Patrice Bergeron was so great. It's like they put in work that nobody else did.
Yeah, and that's something that's very hard to get across to people because, every inclination they have is not to do it. Every inclination is you can make a million excuses to not do it. So that's interesting. Yeah, and that's why Pasternak is who he is.
When do we find out that Pasternak's the new captain?
I mean, Marco Sturm said he wants to get to know everybody and kind of know their personalities and things like that before they make any decision. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't have a captain at season starts. When the season starts. It wouldn't be unprecedented.
No, but it seemed, again, you just brought up a good story about this. This is a guy who's a leader that goes out and does the extra work. I remember when Marchand wasn't the captain, but he was holding the captain's practices. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that'll be kind of an indicator as we get closer to go
it's Pasta and it's McAvoy, and and they're the two guys who have letters on right now, and see how it goes going forward.
It seems like McAvoy doesn't have the personality for it. It seems like that would be way more suitable to Pasternak. Just from what I know.
I don't know. We never really could nail down Pasta on whether he wants to be the captain. Because you really do have to want to do that. Because there is a lot of extra weight on your shoulders as far as dealing with the media and appearances and stuff like that.
But McAvoy wouldn't want to do that. From my understanding of McAvoy, he really wouldn't want to do that. Pasternak at least talks to the media. It's not even the media stuff. Isn't McAvoy crazy quiet? He just doesn't.
No, I mean, he's not the most like long-winded with his answers, but I've never seen him have any issue with.
Not like he's a dick.
Right.
It's just that from what I've heard, even not with the media, like just in the room, he's not the most boisterous, and that they've had to cajole him more to be vocal in the room. That's what I've heard. You would know more than me.
Well, but I've only been around it for a season, so I saw what I saw last year, and he was missing for half the season.
Yeah, I've had people pish-posh the idea of him being like people around the team, not that work for them, but people around the team kind of go like, no, like that. He won't be captain.
But different guys do that job differently.
But Charo, like you said, was like a hard ass. Like he might not have been like super vocal. I don't know if he was or not, but he was that guy. Bergeron was going to be captain. He was meant to be captain, and then Marchand is the boisterous. Like we knew all Marchand would be captain. From my experience with McAvoy and Pastrnak is the far more boisterous of the two. That you have to agree. Like Pastrnak is like a friendly, like loud guy,
right?
Yeah,
but maybe it's I don't know what Sturm is looking for in that role.
To ask me.
It's like Pastrnak is more of a gregarious, like fun personality, and it's like, does that fit what they want their leader to be? Like, there's a lot that goes into it.
He's also way better than McAvoy. But go ahead.
The media does factor into it because if you're the captain, you're the guy who has to talk when you lose 6-0.
You speak every day,
and that's and getting back to what you were talking about, McAvoy not being gregarious. McAvoy, to my understanding, is not a guy who wants to talk to the media after bad losses. If you're the captain, you have to. You may be the only one who speaks to the media after a loss like that. McAvoy would be pushed into that, and that would put some more check marks in Pasternak's column.
And 2 summers ago, I saw Pastrnak. He was very heavy.
Oh, that's right.
We were playing bocce ball.
Yes.
And I had to go back to where the bocce ball was because they made me come back because Pastrnak was so insistent on having this game. And me and the guy I was playing with against him and his friend actively tried to lose just to get out of there, and Pastrnak was making it almost impossible because he was like measuring things with belts, like it was a whole thing. He was being fun and gregarious and nice, but I did not want to be playing bocce ball anymore. It was a very long day, and I had gone home, and then I was frantically called to come back because if it would throw off everything if I didn't finish the bocce game.
It's the semifinals.
Well, that's that competitive nature you're looking for in a leader. Though.
There you go.
It's like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. Those guys would kill you rather than lose to at golf, bocce, anything.
Yeah. If you're thinking it was a very professional organization at that point in the day and that everyone was very level-headed, I was, but hence not wanting to play anymore. All right, we will be back in just a moment. Joe Murray with very cryptic tweets. This is just in, but we have some audio of Joe Murray, and we will have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening.
expected to close soon. Yesterday, the league's Board of Governors unanimously approved the transaction. NBA will release its 2025-26 schedule today. Among the games already announced, Celtics and Knicks will match up October 24th in the first game of the league's new streaming deal with Amazon Prime. Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon has agreed to buy the Portland Trail Blazers for just over $4 billion. Reports say Dundon plans to keep the Blazers in Portland. Today is day 2 of joint practice with the Patriots and Vikings out in Minnesota. Among those not taking part yesterday, Christian Gonzalez, Hunter Henry, and Ramondre Stevenson. Corner Carlton Davis was limited. Pats and Vikings will play a preseason game on Saturday. Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders missed his team's joint practice with the Eagles yesterday. Sanders reportedly dealing with an injured oblique. Red Sox pitchers allowed just 4 hits, but 2 of them were home runs. Astros beat the Sox 4-1 last night, take 2 out of 3 in the series. Boston back home for a 5-game homestand starting against the Marlins tomorrow night. Owners of the Minnesota Twins say after 10 months of reviewing their options, they've decided not to sell controlling interest in the team. And Braintree will play its first game of the Little League World Series. 3 p.m. start this afternoon against Irmo, South Carolina. Headlines brought to you by the Colossal Lobster Rolls at the 99. Choose hot buttered or traditional, both built to the hilt with chunks of North Atlantic lobster served with fries and coleslaw. You gotta love the 9s. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in around 30 minutes.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
A lot of food.
Oh my God.
The food, the good food that I had.
Oh.
Super.
We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Did you know that Ryan Johnston is in for Hardy? He's off to his mother's house in North Carolina with his son. They are down there. It might be her birthday or something, but it just sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, tons.
Finally, someone else is having a summer that it's not great.
Quality time with your son. That's what that is. That's what your summer. It's the summer of Fred and Milo. Yes, he's playing a lot of baseball. Yes, you spent a lot of time by yourself in Hoover, Alabama. But it's all about the success of your child.
It's funny. I had a guy yesterday with a long, and it was a nice email, but a long email because I had expressed like I didn't really know what was going on with the college recruiting just because I don't know anyone who really does. And he sent me this long email about how he was drafted out of Canada and that like it sounded like I wasn't doing enough. And of course that sent me into a panic.
Jesus.
And so I'm like, what should I be doing? And I explained to him everything I did. And then he was like, okay, I looked them up and it looks like you're doing enough. But it was enough where I went through a frenzy of looking at the internet to see what I should be doing. I called his high school coach. I did a bunch of stuff. It got me. I thought I was letting the boy down.
Well, there's nothing like a random email.
It wasn't,
you,
but it wasn't. He wasn't being a dick. Like he was being like it was like of interest. Like he was like, here is what my experience was. Like you should advocate for your kid. And then I was like, because on the air I make it sound worse than it is, but like he's doing everything he can do. But it's just. But it sent me into a frenzy because I'm very insecure about it. And so I explained to him, but then he did some research and he said he found them and he was like, okay, it looks like you've done enough. And I was like, okay, good. Because some of these things that I looked up are like just very old, like writing a letter to college coaches. I don't think that's what you do anymore.
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what you do anymore.
What?
Like, I mean, you know, he texts with college coaches that have reached out to him, but like I don't know how, and I'm sure he could do it, but I don't know how much cold calling a college program is gonna.
Well, is it one of those things where I know you didn't reach out to me, but here's a video of me.
Yes,
pitching,
I think that you could do that.
Here's a video of me. I hit however miles an hour in a showcase.
Right.
It's
Yes.
been documented.
Yes, I'm sure that
look.
I'm sure that if you have a list of colleges that you really want to go to, that's probably a good idea. But he's got something on Sunday at Bryant.
Oh yeah.
And then
Kennedy Field, sure.
Yes, indeed. I thought that was in Newport, but it's not. It's west of Providence, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's right.
Well,
it's close to the Massachusetts border. It's about 45 minutes.
Well, it's a great school, and he's going there. And then I think that's that. I think that's enough.
Is that a visit or is that a showcase?
It's a showcase, but it's a Bryant showcase.
Okay.
To my understanding, the Bryant coaches will be there. And
Good.
and so
That's a good program.
No, you can't do visits until the 1st of September.
Official visit. You're right. I'm sorry. I didn't
Yes,
want to
you
get
should.
anyone in any trouble.
No, he's not doing a visit. It's something I paid for it. It costs money, so it's not like anything. It's not anything unsavory at all. But and I believe that's it. I think that's enough. That's enough. March through August, I believe that's enough. For a pitcher, I think that's a 17-year-old pitcher going to be a junior. I think that's.
I think that's smart. Yes, to shut him down for a while, let him rest.
Well, 3 months is what they say.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jonathan, Joe Murray put out a tweet. Is it this morning?
No, it was yesterday about noontime.
Okay. What did he say?
This is Joe Murray on @JoeyMurr. Slowly, all the roles we act out become our identity, and in the end, we are what we pretend to be. Period.
Now, as an only child narcissist, of course, I thought that was about me.
Of course.
Because why wouldn't it have been at noon from Joe?
Randomly.
That's the way my brain works. Anything negative, I immediately think is about me. But I wonder. But
all of his other tweets are, about food and wrestling and what's coming up on his show, and and then there's this in the middle of all.
I wonder if it's a reaction to the Hulk Hogan death. He's still spiraling from that.
I don't know.
All right, Adam. But what is this?
That is a song lyric, by the way.
What?
Jerry Cantrell's "Give It a Name."
Oh, so he's getting grungy yesterday.
Well, no, he loves Alice in Chains.
He loves Alice in Chains and grunge music. Yes,
he does love Alice in Chains.
My bad.
Okay. All right, so
he was getting into the solo Jerry to get amped up for his show yesterday. I respect that, Joe Murr, going deep.
Oh, he is not above seeing a Lane Staley, my Alice in Chains minus Lane Staley. But they're not now. Jerry Cantrell's just going solo because the drummer's sick. All right, Adam, what do I have here?
Ryan will set it up. He just finished cutting it up.
Oh, Jesus, Adam, you're useless. Yes, Ryan.
This is Joe Murray and two of his interns, one of which is actually friends with Cece. The kid's name is Luke.
Cece, our intern.
Yes, I believe they go to school together.
Okay.
And they're talking.
At Ithaca.
Ithaca
Do you see what I know about Cece?
Good for you.
Do you see what I'm doing there?
Ithaca College, which produced Matt McCarthy as well.
I know. They're invading.
Ithaca College taught me one thing.
What's that?
Have a sharp tongue and take no prisoners.
Ithaca, home of all the students who wish they could have gotten into Syracuse.
I wish they could have gotten into Hobart.
All right. There you go. They all sound like pleasant places to go.
They are. Fantastic places to go.
If you could go back, you'd go to Hobart.
Yes.
Okay.
I had a great time.
No, I
Yes.
know you had a great
Yes.
time, but I mean, it's very cold and small.
Yes, that's true.
There are small schools in warmer climes.
Put Hobart in Florida, that would have been great.
Yeah, see, that's what Rollins is.
Yes.
Rollins is Hobart in Florida.
That would have been really good.
Yes, that's what
True.
that's what you should have done, stupid. Is Hobart a liberal arts college?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I did.
Yep.
That's what I want Zoe doing.
It's how many kids at your school?
$3,000.
No, we had less. We had $2,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that had to be tough to get laid.
Yes.
Yeah.
My high school was bigger than that.
I know.
My high school
high
was like
school
that
was
size.
1,500.
Yeah,
I mean,
my high school was
yeah.
probably $2,000 when I got kicked out of Country Day. I went to North. All right, so here we go. Here is two interns and Joe. We love Joe. This is all out of love. Here is Joe Murray, my favorite show on the station.
Gotta get this show, 'cause Joe is on the floor. I got my mind on the road, and yo, it's time to go.
Oh boy, Joe.
He's got a lot of intros. A lot of music.
Now, was that specifically for him?
I believe that Joe has this big show intro, but I believe that he has listeners and fans that will send to production and he will use.
Oh boy, that must be nice.
Gotta get this show, 'cause Joe is on the floor. I got my mind on the road, and yo, it's time to go.
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Got to give the flow to Joe. Who's in between two Joes right now?
Myself, that's Luke, intern Luke, and I'm in a Joe sandwich right now.
What would be a big Joe sandwich?
Well, that would be two large men hog spitting you. Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Okay. I wasn't going to go there. But
That's not what the image that came into your mind?
No, it wasn't.
I just thought it would be two big dudes.
Yes.
And take an end.
Eiffel Tower.
Is that what that's called?
That's one way to do it.
I've never experienced the Eiffel Tower. I don't have enough self-confidence. I don't need anyone looking at me. Because I know they're doing better than I am, and I don't need that. Yeah, that's of no interest to me.
Okay.
What are you move? All right, there, Nancy. You moving on?
No. I was like, I'm trying to think of something to say.
We have the young lady in studio.
No,
today.
no. You go as long as you want. I like this.
Oh, boys. All right, here we go. All right.
Well, I know you don't like lettuce.
What if we just did mayonnaise?
And
no onions.
Nothing.
Bread and mayo?
No peppers.
No cheese?
No cheese. We can do cheese.
Cheese, mayo.
Just when it comes to condiments.
What kind of cheese do you like, Joe?
I love all cheese.
Huh?
I love a nice pastrami and Swiss.
Never had a Munster cheese?
Munster?
Oh, these interns are they know where the bread is buttered. They're just setting them up.
Yep.
Smart.
He's like, let's just start naming cheeses.
Get a good segment out of him.
Yeah, and they get all seductive with it too. You like Munster cheese, do you? And they know Joe's like
Munster?
His rolls back in his head.
Never had a Munster cheese?
Munster?
Ew, I hate that way that kid talks.
Never had a Munster cheese?
Ew. Don't talk like that. That's my lesson to that intern. Don't talk like that. No one needs you talking like that. Right, Zoe? Hey, he sounds weird.
Never had a
We can do
Munster cheese?
Munster?
Yeah.
So I can
Munster.
Munster cheese.
This is the Bob Ross of interns.
That, by the way, is not how you spell Munster either.
Yeah.
M-U-E, right? M-U-E, yeah.
Yeah, it's M-U-E.
I think I even knew that.
Yeah.
And I've never had it in my life. You uncultured bastard.
I like Cabot slices. What meals impress you? Like, does your mom cook something and you're like, Mom, this is the best you've ever made?
Yeah, frequently.
What are those, please?
She makes good pasta.
What kind of, what's pasta? What's pasta?
That's a very philosophical question. So, almost like, what's the meaning of life? I mean, what is pasta? The great minds. We'll have to refer to Socrates.
For you.
It's a very general
Well, me,
question.
I mean, I like bolognese.
I don't discriminate.
Moving on.
Again, bolognese is not pasta. That's something that you can put on to pasta.
Yeah, Joe has realized that he's hit a brick wall. You want to talk about moving on? We got to get off the pasta thing.
Yeah, but
Kid had nothing to add.
It's time to pivot.
What's pasta?
That's Joe. I just sitting under the tree for 3 days, trying to find
What's
enlightenment. And they come up to him and they go, Joe, what have you learned?
What's pasta? Joe, what's your favorite breakfast?
It has to be the McGriddle from McDonald's.
Like for me, I love Bagel World's French toast. There's a place called Cracked. There's a couple of locations. They make a live free or die on a nice little croissant. And they're like sausages, maple, and amazing. So do you like maple?
I love maple. Yeah, maple syrup. Couldn't get enough of it.
Normally, 9 times out of 10, I eat normal food for breakfast.
What's that?
Maybe twice a month will I have breakfast food for breakfast.
What is normal food? Do you like a bagel?
Yeah.
Do you like a croissant?
Yeah, sure. Less so than a bagel,
okay,
but yeah.
Pancakes.
Yeah, we went over this, and I said I
Tell
prefer
Joe,
pancakes.
though.
What's going on? Why is this happening?
It's like
What's
a
that?
checklist. What? Very bizarre.
And I made
He's trying desperately to get the intern to just tell him what you like for breakfast.
Yeah.
It's like he's having to name all these breakfast foods.
Do you like donuts?
Okay, well, we haven't gotten there yet. You're skipping ahead.
You didn't say that yet?
No.
I've lost track myself. It's so philosophical.
What's pasta?
I mean, he's reading the kid. He's almost like it's like he's Madame Cleo, and he's trying to find out. He's reading his future by his breakfast foods.
What's your favorite breakfast?
It has to be the McGriddle from McDonald's.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost track, and I went way too far back. Not a lot. Suffice it to say, if you're just joining us, not a lot's happened.
Call me now for your free reading.
And they're like sausages, maple, and amazing. So, do you like maple?
I love maple. Yeah, maple syrup. Couldn't get enough of it.
Normally, like 9 times out of 10, I eat normal food for breakfast.
What's that?
Like maybe twice a month will I have like breakfast food for breakfast.
What is normal food? Do you like a bagel?
Yeah.
Do you like a croissant?
Yeah, sure. Less so than a bagel,
Okay,
but yeah.
pancakes.
Yeah, so we went over this, and I said I
Tell
prefer
Joe,
pancakes.
though.
Yeah, I prefer pancakes to waffles and what was it, French toast? Yeah. You like olive oil, Joe?
I always start everything with olive oil.
Olive oil is
butter.
fantastic.
I usually put butter on a pan, but
Yeah.
when I'm cooking,
I find that butter makes it easier to like pick up off the pan.
yes. Do you like donuts?
This is like a
Do you
first
like
date.
donuts?
It's rapid fire,
This
baby.
is a
Be
first
ready.
date. This is a first date with Joe.
So, do you like maple?
There's candlelight.
Like, I got to know if we're compatible.
Do you like donuts?
Yeah, this is the hinge conversation before the first date.
What's pasta?
That's what you start with.
Well, that's
when you
his.
sit
That's
down.
one of his. That's one of his cues on Hinge. Is what's pasta.
What's that?
These are his wedding vows, by the way.
I love all cheese.
They're fine. I'm not huge on donuts, but they're
What's
fine.
your favorite
I would
donut?
never eat a donut like for breakfast.
What's your favorite donut?
Glazed.
Yeah.
Dunkin' glazed
That
for sure.
is so.
Yeah, he ain't gonna like that.
No, Joe, take
show
offense
some.
at that one.
Show some
Yeah.
imagination. You uncultured prick.
Dunkin' glazed for
That
sure.
is so plain. I think mine. I love a good old. To keep it simple, I like a nice coffee roll.
Coffee roll's good. Coffee roll's good.
But I prefer an apple fritter. You don't like cereal, right?
Wait a minute. I take umbrage with that. Neither one of those is a donut.
Oh, here we go.
No, you're right.
He's asking about your favorite donut, and he rolls out two things: a coffee roll and an apple fritter. Neither one is a donut.
And you have the coffee roll right next to the vanilla cream in the stack
Someone's
there.
never been to France,
Oh man,
where those are considered donuts.
Here we go. You're gonna spark an argument on that
You
one.
xenophobe. I mean, you don't
Man.
even. I mean, look at you, just attacking Israel like that. Apple fritters. Let the man cook. Don't get in his way.
An apple fritter. You don't like cereal, right?
You don't like cereal?
Like,
He's pulled back.
no.
Yeah, Joe's lost.
Yeah.
He's got the kid. He's got the kid on the ropes.
Like,
He's pulled back.
no, it's not that I like, no, I
He
wouldn't.
doesn't
No,
answer
I
the
wouldn't
question.
eat cereal
Yes
for
or no,
breakfast.
do you like cereal?
No, well, all right, not everything is that black and white.
Yes or no?
Not everything is that black and
All
white.
right, well, tell me if you do or if you don't then.
I don't like it for breakfast.
Are you on the...
I'm kind of on his side on this one. Cereal is better at night.
Yeah.
I love cereal at night.
It's better
Give me
at
a
night.
bowl of Frosted Flakes in.
All right, what time of day was this at, Ryan? I can't hear
He
you.
said it was like at like 10 at night.
Yeah, you got to figure at 10 at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
The calls have dried up, and
I
this
got an
is-
hour to go.
Yeah,
Bring the kids in here.
yeah. This is
Yeah.
it's August.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on to what?
Well, let's hold on before you start. Let's try and guess what he goes to. What's next?
Something about Kowloon. Like let's.
They haven't gotten to lunch yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Exactly. Do you have anything between breakfast and lunch?
When's the first time you eat every day?
Well, I mean, listen. They already went over breakfast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. I love the Joe Show, and that's why I love it. You tune in, and it's got different levels. He starts off hot. He almost goes to different voices. When he starts off, he's like, it's going sports, and he's very animated. And as the show goes on, it loosens up quite a bit. Yeah, and then he just starts sighing, and like he gets in a zone.
What's that?
Yeah, and that's Joe at night. When Joe fills in on like Felger and Maz, it's
Different Joe.
It's a different
Yeah,
Joe. It's like a very high end on edge Joe,
Sports takes.
like sports taking
Let's
it,
go. Yeah.
arguing. I don't like that.
I like a nice coffee roll.
I like Joe with pauses.
You need Joe to loosen the belt. You need him to lean back in his chair.
That's a good, like he puts on the elastic waist pants and like kind of just. There's like a lot of sighing. He lets things breathe. That's when Joe's at his best. All right. When we come back, there is an owner of a franchise that is he's a bad person. And it's illustrated in an article that just came out. He's not local, so no one worry. But we will have that for you in just a moment.
Moving on.
You're listening.
because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
JD and the Straight Shot.
Wash away my troubles, wash away my pain with the rain in Shambhala. Wash away my sorrow.
All right, what is this? And what was Jimmy Fallon so excited about? This is James Dolan, who owns the New York Knicks. He, like many other billionaires, feels the need to have some like new blues band. It's just very odd that you see Wick Grossbeck do it, you see Ernie Bach Jr. do it, you see James Dolan do it. These guys all want to be in Jim Irsay. They all want to be in, but Irsay was more like a rock band, and Irsay's like a Hesher, which I kind of appreciated.
There's some effort to Irsay. He brought in good musicians,
like Mike Mills. Yeah,
it was like an all-star band. I mean, he tried,
and he was a Hesher. I mean, he was he sounded like a kid at auto shop in like high school in 1979, like when he talked, but. I don't know what it is, the appeal of like bad blues music to these guys. And that's a cover song, by the way. And Jimmy Fallon continuing to add to his credibility as a late night talk show host. Now, I know he was forced to do it, so I don't begrudge him James Dolan being on the show. What I begrudge is the introduction. He should have just gone, hey, this is James Dolan in the Straight Shots. That's what I would have done.
Just real quick, do you think Fallon at that time had enough juice to tell him to F off?
No. And I still don't think he does.
Do you think he would now?
No, because look, for whatever reason they fired Colbert, and I don't doubt it was something to do with the Paramount merger, but he was losing money. Like it wasn't without financial reason. Let's put it this way. If Colbert was making a lot of money and these late night shows were making money, that's a much more difficult decision to make. I don't doubt the Trump factor maybe pushed him over the edge, but that's a much easier decision. Like if it was Johnny Carson in 1979, if I can go back to 1979. There's no way they're firing him.
No, Fallon, Dolan and Fallon are in the same town. Fallon likes to cavort around at Madison Square Garden.
No, that's not it. Dolan owns a broadcasting company that NBC has to do work with. Like, what is it? Spectrum? What does he own?
It used to be Cablevision,
and then it's Spectrum or something. Like Dolan owns outlets that NBC needs. There's no way Jimmy Fallon was at a Knicks game, and when I love James Dolan, like I'm putting him on. I don't think so. I mean, as much as I can't stand the guy, and I don't think he's funny, I highly doubt that. Maybe he did. I doubt it, though. I bet
maybe
you
they're
NBC
friends.
Oh,
they run in the same. I mean, they're rich people in New York City.
Right.
Maybe they run in the same circles.
It doesn't seem like James Dolan has a lot of people on his side, but maybe. It doesn't even seem like Knick fans like James Dolan.
No, nobody in New York likes James Dolan.
Well, that's kind of my point.
Think about that. He owns the cable company, and he sucks as the owner of two of your favorite teams. This is like the Antichrist.
Yeah, I mean, Dolan's a bad owner, and he seems like a pretty bad guy, and there's more evidence to this point, Ryan.
Yeah, the ESPN came out with a story yesterday. So this has been known going back, I think it's close to 10 years. Remember when Charles Oakley got into dust up with security at MSG and ended up getting banned from going to games? Like Knicks legend, not allowed to go to games anymore. So about 3 years ago, the New York Times came out with an article that said that MSG basically had a list of people that are banned from attending events there. ESPN dug into this and came out with this story yesterday that says that not only is there a banned list, but there are well over 1,000 people who are currently banned from attending events at Madison Square Garden and any MSG-owned property. So that includes Radio City Music Hall. It includes the Beacon Theater in New York, the Chicago Theater, the Sphere out in Las Vegas. And most of the people who are on this list are lawyers who are involved with any law firm who currently has any sort of a case against MSG or any of their properties.
And it's funny that there are this many. Like it's
How many lawsuits?
Oh, I mean, if you own a business like that, I imagine you're getting sued all the time. But it's quite a list to keep track of.
So that includes the largest law firm in the country is Morgan & Morgan, right? They've got 1,000 lawyers. Every state in the country has a Morgan & Morgan office.
Yeah, Ronnie the limo driver does a commercial.
All of them are banned from going to Madison Square Garden.
Like every lawyer?
Every single one of them. And now you say, well, how do they enforce that? Like if you have some lawyer from Savannah, Georgia, who happens to go to New York, wants to go to Radio City Music Hall, how do they enforce that? They literally have gone through the websites of all of these law firms and have pulled pictures of all of these lawyers and used facial recognition. So when they try to get in, they're getting pulled out of the security line because the facial recognition system has picked up that there is an intruder. And so there are these lawyers who don't even live in New York, who didn't even know about this.
And yet are in no way, shape, or form involved in any kind of lawsuit.
They're not involved in the cases or anything like that. This guy goes to a Mariah Carey concert with his wife and gets pulled out by security, and they say you're not allowed in.
Okay, so if Morgan & Morgan, if it's like the other firms like this, are like a figurehead, and they kind of
it's like a franchise.
And they just kind of sift, like they're not the lawyers. Like when you hire Morgan & Morgan, I would imagine for your liability suit, like against your that you were hurt on the job. The guy that owns it doesn't know about you don't know that you've never met the guy. There's no way. I don't even think they're like Morgan & Morgan offices necessarily. I just think that they funnel clients out to other places. And so you're talking about thousands of lawyers that had nothing to do with it. So and then how much manpower and cost has this cost James Dolan? Because you have to have people not only go through the sites, but pull up the pictures, put them in the facial recognition software.
And it means every time you have a new lawsuit, you have to go through this all again, right? And start, we got to dig out who are the lawyers, what law firm is this, go through their site. One guy said he was able to avert security because his picture on his law firm's website was somebody else. They had screwed up when they built the website. So he's standing in line, and the security people come over, and he shows his ID and says, I'm not this guy, and they let him in. So he got through that a couple of times, but then the third time they figured it out, and they figured out that his name matched up with another lawyer at the same firm.
But how would
they came? He was at a St. John's basketball game with like the president of St. John's University, and they came courtside and dragged him out of his seat and was like, you're out of here, you're banned.
But how many people have to keep combing through those websites to make that correction?
Right.
That's the scary thing.
Well, I would imagine it's thousands and thousands of tens of thousands of dollars in manpower that's required to do that. And this is it's obviously vindictive. I mean, that's obvious, but is it supposed to be a deterrent for these law firms to like go after them?
That's the idea. It's like, don't take the case, because if you're a New York law firm, you want to go to Ranger games, you want to go to Knicks games, you want to go to concerts, you're not going to be allowed to.
Yeah, but you know what? I want to make millions of dollars going after your $1 billion company, you jackass. What a waste of time.
There's another story in here as well about there was a lawyer who had been banned from MSG. Her brother goes to a Knicks or a Rangers Devils game in New Jersey, right? So he's at the Prudential Center, not an MSG property. Sees he's up in the luxury suite area. Sees James Dolan in the bathroom, walks up to him and calls him an a-hole to his face, right? In defending his sister who was improperly banned. Dolan's personal security comes after this guy, tells him, give us your ID or we're getting you ejected from this game. So he shows them his ID. He's now banned indefinitely from MSG properties.
Let me ask you this. So, like, say you're a band that plays the Beacon Theater. Say you're the Strokes and you play the Beacon Theater. Like, who is James Dolan to tell one of your fans that they can't come in. Say you're Billy Joel and you're doing a residency at Madison Square Garden. That's not James Dolan. Just because he owns Madison Square Garden, he doesn't own the fan base of the artist. If this came out and I was a musical artist, I wouldn't play Madison. I'd just go play wherever the Devils play.
What if Billy Joel's brother is an attorney and is banned from MSG?
But even
can't commit.
Beyond that, Ryan, like, I don't want you telling my fans they can't come into my concerts. Like, they're my fans.
Right.
And also you're taking money out of my pocket. Like, if I'm Kiss and I'm touring and I play Madison Square Garden and I'm 1,000 short of a sellout, I don't want you pushing people away. Like, these are, a lot of these artists are like, appreciate their fans. It's not so much the Knicks or St. John's. If I'm St. John's and there's someone with the president, I'm very pissed off, but what am I going to do? Not play at Madison Square Garden? It's kind of the selling point of my program. But yeah, if I'm a big-time artist that doesn't need Madison Square Garden, like, I don't need to play there. If I'm Metallica plays stadiums, but say they were doing an arena tour. I don't need to play Madison Square Garden. I can just avoid it to get my fans in. Because if it was one law firm, fine. But if it's thousands of people, now you're affecting my bottom line, and now they're going to blame me. Bands can't tour arenas forever. Artists can't tour arenas forever. Like Tyler, the Creator, like, who knows in 10 years if he's going to be able to play arenas. I can't afford to start alienating my fans because now that whole experience was embarrassing, humiliating, and pissed you off. And now you're going to associate that with the artist. Because if I got removed from a line going into a show, I'd be pissed at everyone. I would never buy any music from that person again. I would never attend another one of their concerts. I would blame them. This is a much bigger deal because everyone that performs there now is like now you're just holding personal vendettas against people.
It's funny because the author of the article at the end runs down a list. They're a New Yorker and runs down the list of some of the great events they've been to at Madison Square Garden. They're like, I might be banned for just putting this article out.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's
I can
what.
see that.
But, as a society, we've kind of just ceded our lives to billionaires. And we've romanticized them. There was a point where there was a skepticism and almost hatred of billionaires because they were not to be trusted. But now we're in a society at this time that just says, go do whatever you want. Like, yeah, you're the best because you made all this money. You're better than me. And that's where we are. I mean, it's obvious. We just say, oh, like this is an argument you hear a lot. They must be right. It was a lot of stuff with Musk. Like, Musk, no doubt, is a genius at what he does. I mean, he puts things into space. But there was this lot of just conceding, well, he's a billionaire. He must know what he's talking about. Yeah, with space and with making electric cars, but that doesn't make him an expert on everything or necessarily have the intelligence or the empathy to, like, deal with human problems. And so it's just this idea that you're rich enough to own Madison Square Garden, therefore you have a right to, like, go do all this. Like, it's almost a public trust. You understand what I'm saying? If you're licensing it out, people aren't going to Madison Square Garden to go to Madison Square Garden. They're going to see the event that's there. And just because you're the billionaire that happens to own it, that's nonsense.
By the way, this is the Red Sox were almost owned by this guy.
Yeah.
James's father, Charles, had the high bid for the Red Sox in 2002. He outbid John Henry by about $40 or $50 million, but the Red Sox still went with John Henry's offer.
Think about how many extra World Series you would have won if James Dolan had taken
Sure.
over.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, they wouldn't have traded Devers. They wouldn't have traded Devers. It's just this acquiescing to people just because they happen to make a lot of money. Well, just because you're good at one thing doesn't make you a good person or B, good at everything. You have a brain that works in a specific way that made you money. That doesn't mean that you're like the captain of the world.
Yeah, but in his case, he inherited it all.
No, I know. But still, people, you have to agree that in society now, there's this like whole vibe of that you just concede things because the ultimate thing is that you've made a lot of money and therefore you are the smartest person in the world, and that's just not true. I mean, there's people that have written great novels that never got bought that are very intelligent in that way, or there's teachers that are super intelligent in a way that they can relate. There's different levels of intelligence and different categories of intelligence. Just because you happen to have, the ability to sit in front of a computer for 3 days coding and like coming up with stuff doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're a master of, public relations or dealing with people. We got to get over this billionaire worship. I blame Instagram, Zoe. All right. And the influencers. I don't like that. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The NBA's Board of Governors yesterday unanimously approved the sale of the Celtics to the group of investors led by Bill Chisholm. League says that sale expected to close shortly. Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon has agreed to buy the Portland Trail Blazers for just over $4 billion. And reports say he will keep the Blazers in Portland. NBA will release its full schedule later today. Patriots in Minnesota for the second of 2 joint practices against the Vikings. Teams play a preseason game on Saturday afternoon. Among those missing yesterday, Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Gonzalez, and Hunter Henry. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones revealed he was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma in 2010 and has since undergone 2 lung surgeries, 2 lymph node surgeries, and says he was part of an experimental drug trial that left him tumor-free. Red Sox lost 4-1 in Houston last night. They're back home to start a 3-game series against the Marlins tomorrow night. And Braintree plays its first game at the Little League World Series this afternoon, 3 p.m. against a team from South Carolina. Headlines are brought to you by the McGovern Automotive Group. McGovern and 98.5 The Sports Hub are giving away a brand new Ford F-150. For more info on how to enter, follow 98.5 The Sports Hub and McGovern Auto Group on Instagram. Complete rules and details at 985thesportshub.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines at 8 o'clock.
Toucher and Hardy.
best Anthrax song, and it doesn't have Joey Belladonna as singer. Very controversial. I think this is the best Anthrax song by a substantial margin.
Controversy.
Yep. What lame band was the singer of this song in?
Oh, jeez.
It's like and they still tour, which is like amazing. It's like a metal band that you never really hear of. But he's got a way better voice than Joey Belladonna. By the way, this time tomorrow, and that's it. See, I used to sing. This time on Friday, we're giving you a shot at winning a brand new Ford F-150, courtesy of McGovern Automotive Group. Just listen for your Instagram username to be announced when you hear when you hear it. You got 985 seconds to call us back on the contest line, 617-931-0985 to qualify for the truck. Contest rules and info on how to enter at 985thesportshub.com.
It's Armored Saint, by the way, is the band you were thinking of.
I dare you to name one song by Armored Saint.
I couldn't do that.
No. But the name comes. Call Eddie and get a rundown. I mean, have him list the albums in importance. Armored Saint, that's right. That's one of those things in Hit Parader you would go, huh?
He could do a solid 10, 15 minutes on Armored Saint. Eddie Trunk could. Solid 10, 15 minute segment.
Rethink what you just said.
Did I say 10 or 15? I meant to say 30, 45.
How about 2 hours?
How about a whole show? Are you out of your mind? He had Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple
right,
on
for the whole show.
For the whole show. And Glenn Hughes is doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing like basements. All right, Jonathan,
yes.
The Patriots are having joint practices. We have Chad Graff coming up. He will be talking to us about what's going on. These are good measuring sticks. They're playing a good team in Minnesota. In these practices, what do you got?
Well, mixed results out there. First of two joint practices. Christian Gonzalez, Jalen Polk, Ramondre Stevenson, Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne among the missing yesterday. Now, Ramondre Stevenson might be a problem. It would seem that way. He's missed more than one workout back in Foxborough. Wasn't on the field yesterday, but Mike Vrabel, when asked, wasn't really concerned.
I don't think so. No. I mean, hopefully we'll get him back here sooner rather than later. I don't think it's anything that's significant.
Other than wear and tear on Travion Henderson, do you have any concern about Ramondre Stevenson not playing?
No.
I'm zero if I'm a Patriot fan.
No.
I don't want the wear and tear, but you have two backs without him.
Yes.
So
Antonio Gibson's a pretty damn good third stringer.
Yeah, so Antonio Gibson's good, and Travion Henderson's probably the best out of all of them.
Well, let's get to that because
he
he showed up again yesterday. The offense up and down, the line allowed what would have been 5 sacks of Drake May in their first 20 snaps against a very good Minnesota defense, at least 2 of which came against the left side, which has the 2 rookies, Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. The good news is that after those first 20 snaps, by all accounts, the line got better as a whole. Drake May, when given time to throw, did well. And now we talk about Travion Henderson. He showed up. He executed a 70-yard catch-and-run touchdown.
Another opportunity to kind of practice the way that we practice.
That's not what I was hoping to play. Let's try this.
Yeah, I think they just, didn't account for him, and just trying to give it to him an easy ball to let him catch and run. And I think it's hard to catch him once he's in the open field.
Yeah, stop taking credit, May. You didn't do anything.
This is getting back to a guy like this. This is not something to be overlooked. This isn't practice touchdowns and, okay, it's make-believe. This kid is showing up, and at 70-yard catch and run against the Minnesota defense, that's saying something. The New England defense isn't supposed to be bad either, and he's making them look bad. This is a kid that can be counted on to make an impact once the games start to matter.
Oh, Travion Henderson's going to be a very good running back in the league. There's no question about it, and you took him at a position where he needs to be, but he will be. In everything that I've ever heard about the kid. My concern is this is going to sound dumb, but I saw footage of Will Campbell as a graduating high schooler at a camp before he went to LSU.
Okay.
He's significantly smaller than the other linemen there. And I don't doubt that it sounds dumb, dude. And they're not wearing pads. And so, and they're showing it like he's a badass, but he's holding and like dragging people down. He's strong, very strong, but he's in drills with other linemen significantly smaller. Significantly. Now he went to LSU.
Yeah.
And I think he started there for 3 years.
And
so
he
like,
was unquestionably the top left tackle on the board.
I'm just telling you, he's small.
Okay,
He's
fair enough.
and it wasn't me going into it thinking that he's small. Like to my knowledge, maybe subliminally, but I was like, oh my God, this guy is way smaller than these other dudes.
The hope is, and that was the talk afterwards, is that he can digest what another team threw at him. And again, he had a rough start to the joint practice yesterday, improved as it went on. Now the key is, can he come out today and be good?
The key is if he can be good in pass protection.
Yes.
I don't doubt that he'll be a fantastic, in the run game.
And that's what
where
showed
it's
up
just
again
mauling.
yesterday. That showed up again yesterday. Run game, he's fine.
Well, that's when your length doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's because you're just plowing guys over. It's keeping guys off. I don't know. If I'm Vegas in the first game of the season, I'm going balls out on that left side of that line.
Yeah, that's what you do. If you're an opposing, we talked about it the second Jared Wilson became the left guard. If you're a defensive coordinator, what's the first thing you look at? You don't care about the wide receivers. You have Stephon Diggs, who's coming off a torn ACL, and a bunch of other guys. You worry about that left side. You attack that as much as you can.
And that's not a poorly coached team anymore. Like, that's
No.
a team with a real coach. A coach with way more success than your coach. Now, he's old, but he's had a lot more
Knows what
success
he's
than your
doing.
coach.
Yeah.
He can build a program.
This is going to be
I
a problem.
pounded that 3.5. I got Vegas. I'm extending myself on this game. I like Vegas so much in this game. It's just I just think there's too much of a learning curve.
I've yet to hear anybody who thinks this team's going to win 9-10 games defend what's going on here. You can't ignore what's happened here in the first couple of weeks, and it's not like the preseason is 6 weeks long now. They're having these problems, and the games are coming up in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, and these are the problems that you have when you have a lack of talent and you're forced to start rookies, and there's a learning curve. It doesn't mean that they're never going to be good. It's just I don't think they're going to be good at the beginning of the season.
And real quick, this is where you shift your weight. If you believe in the long haul, if you believe that this team will eventually get better slowly, maybe next year, maybe the year after, you're happy that you have 2 rookies there because they can learn together. Maybe they'll look bad now, but they can learn together. And in a year or two, you're like, okay, I have 2 22-year-old left guard and left tackles. Everyone in the league wants talented guys like this. But this year, it's going to be bumpy. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I completely agree. And the first, you won the first game last year. Losing the first game isn't the end of the world, and I really, really, really think that's going to
happen. Just hope you don't get your franchise quarterback killed in the process.
Yes.
That's what you worry about.
Yes, get rid of the ball, Drake, is my advice to you. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. John Gruden is back on the scene, and we have audio.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The NBA says the $6.1 billion sale of the Celtics to the group led by Bill Chisholm is expected to close soon. That after the league's Board of Governors yesterday unanimously approved the sale. The league will release its 2025-26 schedule today. Among the games already announced, Celtics-Knicks October 24th. It's the first game of the league's new streaming deal with Amazon Prime. Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon has agreed to buy the Portland Trail Blazers. He'll pay just north of $4 billion, and reports say he plans to keep the Blazers in Portland. Today's day 2 of joint practices with the Patriots and Vikings out in Minnesota. Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Gonzalez, Hunter Henry all sat out yesterday. Carlton Davis was limited. Pats and Vikings will play a preseason game on Saturday afternoon. Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders has an injured oblique, missed the team's joint practice with the Eagles yesterday. Red Sox pitchers gave up just 4 hits, but 2 of them were home runs. Astros win at 4-1 last night, take 2 out of 3 in that series. Sox open a 5-game homestand against the Marlins tomorrow. And the owners of the Minnesota Twins say after 10 months of reviewing their options, they've decided not to sell controlling interest in the team. Braintree will play its first game of the Little League World Series this afternoon, 3 p.m. start time against South Carolina. Headlines brought to you by the New England Revolution. Fresh off a dominating shutout, the New England Revolution returned to Gillette Stadium Saturday night for an East Coast-West Coast showdown with Los Angeles FC. Kickoff at 7:30. Get your tickets today at revolutionsoccer.net. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in around 30 minutes.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hi, everybody. We're Toucher and Hardy. Ryan Johnston is in from Hardy for Hardy's gallivanting around North Carolina at his mother's house. I like it when people are on bad vacations when I'm not on vacation. That makes me feel better. You know, I like others' misery, Jonathan.
Yes, I'm well aware. You've leaned into mine and others.
Yes. I good vacations. I'm not a fan of. Why should you get one?
Yep.
When I had to go to Hoover, Alabama, and Sanford,
Ryan,
Florida.
I went to Paris. It's like, boy, that's going to suck with your kids.
Oh, no, but I was right.
I saw that room, John. Come on.
It was small. It was tiny.
That
Kids
wasn't
were next-
rooting. No. That wasn't rooting against you. That was just telling you.
That's just basic fact.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to suck. And it did.
It, for a large part of it.
Yeah, no, it sucked.
The travel wasn't good.
No, it was terrible.
The travel was.
Yeah, you managed to screw your travel up. That's what you have to invest in getting there.
Yeah, no.
The hotels.
I tried saving money.
No.
And that didn't work.
No,
it didn't work at all.
Go a year without taking a vacation, and then the next
that.
year, you invest all the money that you could have spent on the vacation. It's called saving and then spending.
One of the first things I told my wife when I got this job was we hadn't traveled a whole lot other than to go visit family and things like that because, times are tight.
Sure.
But when I got this job, one of the things I told my wife is we're going to take some trips and and when we do, we're not worrying about how much stuff costs.
And that's
if you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah.
That's my advice to everyone is that if you feel like you're not sure before you leave that you're not positive how it's going to go, don't go. And take that money, invest it, do whatever, even put it in a high yield savings account.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, take the money that you saved and with the money that you've saved since then, and then you take one trip. Now, I'm not saying you have to stay at the Ritz. I don't stay at the Four Seasons or Ritz or anything. I don't got that kind of money. But I know when I go on a trip, I mean, I stayed at Atlantis. I mean, it's no great, it's expensive, but it's not insane. But I know when I go, it's going to be clean and there's going to be stuff to do. I know I'm getting there. Now, Tennessee, when I go, all bets are off because there's no way to get there short of a private plane.
You'll appreciate this. My brother-in-law just moved to Knoxville.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did. He just moved to Knoxville. He lives the Farragut section.
Yeah,
Is that-
Farragut. That's like the nice part of
Is it?
Knoxville,
Okay,
yeah.
that's where he
It's
moved
like the nice
to.
suburb.
He wants to take us to a Tennessee game, a
Yeah.
volunteer game, and we're going to take the family down there. But you're the first person I think of because there's no direct flight there. You have to, fly to Memphis and drive, or fly to Atlanta and drive.
No. You can fly to Knoxville, but the problem is this: is that if you miss your flight to Knoxville, it drives me crazy. People go to Knoxville but 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the effing mayor of Knoxville, they wanted to expand the airport, and one of the airlines wanted to make it like a mini hub, and he went no. Essentially, like, I don't want blacks. Like, that's how I feel all these things are. It's like when they didn't build MARTA out in Atlanta.
Sure.
Like, it's like we don't want them down here. It's like one of those things. So the problem is, if you missed your flight to Knoxville, there are other flights to Knoxville. There's a bunch of them out of Atlanta, out of Philadelphia. There's a bunch of them out of Charlotte. But the problem is, everyone else is on those flights.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't get on. So if you miss your connection, there's a good chance if you want to fly into Knoxville, you're not doing that for 2 days. So then you go, okay, I'll fly into Nashville, or I'll fly into Atlanta. And then you got to do the 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive. Atlanta's closer than Nashville.
Okay.
But not by a lot. And they're not terrible drives, but it's like
a pain in the ass. Yes.
It's just a pain in the ass. And then you got to like rent a car, or I got to ask my parents. And Hardy does not like this, but I asked my parents to pick me and the kids up in Nashville. And, because I don't want to rent a car and do everything.
I see.
Let them do it.
Okay.
You're going to pretend you're not old.
I was just going to say your mom's dead, or how old now?
They're 97.
Okay.
All right. I mean, it was very dangerous.
Heartless bastard.
No, I mean, they can barely see. I mean, I really put them at risk.
Well, this is your parents' way of paying you back for when they didn't give you your pain medication when you got your wisdom teeth.
They know they have some ground to cover but yeah, they're 97, John. They can't.
So anyway,
it's very cruel.
Maybe going to Knoxville sometime this fall to catch a game. Looking forward to it.
I would like to go to a Tennessee game. It's a whole deal. I'm just telling you that.
I've
$100,000.
I've been briefed. There are 100,000 people in that stadium.
Yeah.
I've been briefed.
And you're going to be awful annoyed because they're not good people.
Okay.
That's not a good school. And that's objectively.
All right.
That's objectively. All right. So here we go. John Gruden, speaking of colleges, hey. So what's the deal, Adam? John Gruden gets packages from D1 schools or college programs.
He's making all these videos now. That's kind of his thing, and we flagged this one because he got a whole a box of UMass Minuteman swag.
All right, so UMass is a D1 program growing rapidly, and John Gruden, who is going to get a lot of money from the NFL because they don't want to go to trial. And he's got him going to trial, so look for John Gruden to be set like you wouldn't believe, because they'll pay anything, I think, to avoid trial. But here we go.
You think they let him back into the league after that?
I think they're going to have to. I think that's
do
going
you
to be
think
part
somebody?
of the settlement.
I'm saying, do you think another
Yes.
team hires him as their head coach?
100%.
Have you seen some of the head coaches in this league?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I would.
If you want to win, guy won a Super Bowl.
They combed through his emails and decided they combed through 1 million people's emails. They probably went through 10 million emails, and they flagged him for using language in a private email. I'm not going to hold that guy over that over the guy's head for the rest of his life.
Some of your fans might.
Well, fine. But what, they never make mistakes? This whole idea that, like, in private conversation, you've never said anything when released to the public that was inappropriate is a fool's errand. Unless you're a monk that has a vow of silence, John has, even Adam, Captain King of the World.
Adam, I'm disappointed in you.
He's certainly said stuff. We're good friends a long time. He said stuff, off-color stuff to me, that if it got released, that it would be considered. Oh, wow, you call yourself liberal. Yeah, the idea that when you go through someone's private crap and that you find something that they said that people find offensive is insane. Insane. Everyone.
I would agree with you, but once it does become public.
But people get over those things.
Okay.
No, you don't think? I mean,
Some
people get
do,
over
some
them.
people do.
Most people do. But we're a forgiving society at the end of the day.
When you ask for forgiveness.
Sure. And I think has he not?
Specifically for this?
No, I think he apologized for saying the gay slur.
I'm trying to remember.
Which, if no one could have a job who's ever used a gay slur in private, then I would like to see what the workforce looked like. And it's an unfortunate thing, but I mean, it is what it is. But these football players are known, and football coaches are known to be incredibly tolerant. I mean, Jesus Christ. You go through Woody Hayes' emails if they had him back in the day. The amount of N-bombs in those things. Hachi machi.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Here he is. To lighten things up, Ryan. Here are his opening up the UMass swag.
How about this box from Massachusetts? The Minutemen. Massachusetts Minutemen. You know what a Minuteman is? I looked it up.
It's a guy, he gets too excited. He can't even get in. Kabolawi. These Minutemen, man. There's a cream you can put on yourself to numb it.
Let's go, Minutemen. It was a revolutionary American fighter. He was in the war. He was ready on a minute's notice. That's that great or what?
Yeah, it was a guy. It was that guy, that Minuteman.
The Lexington High School Minutemen, ladies and gentlemen. That's my high school. That's our mascot.
Yeah,
the
you might
Minutemen.
not know about this, but, this country wasn't always a country. I'm an educator.
Massachusetts, man. They've had a lot of famous people. You know what? The Massachusetts, my favorite actor, Richard Gere. You ever see Richard Gere in that movie Officer and a Gentleman where he's laying on the ground? He goes,
Is Richard Gere from Massachusetts?
He has nothing to do with the state of Massachusetts.
You know what? I loved American Gigolo. It really set the tone on gay culture in the 80s. It was the first time I ever felt comfortable, looking at a man's body.
Richard Gere went to UMass Amherst on a gymnastics scholarship.
Oh, I did not know that. All right.
Yeah, Richard Gere was beautiful. Lauren Hutton, she paid for it. American Gigolo.
I got nowhere else.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Reverse.
The gentleman where he's laying on the ground. He goes, I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go. That was the greatest acting job I think I've ever seen in my life, man. I freaking loved it. Richard Gere. I got nowhere else to go. Head coach Joe Harris-Simiak.
You know at the end of Clueless when the chick makes out with her brother? Weird. Paul Rudd, they were related. Not by blood, but,
First year head coach. I'm telling you, this is exciting. This guy's a hell of a coach. Look at these Minute Maid shorts. These are phenomenal.
Yeah, nice and short. Nice coach's shorts where maybe a testicle runs loose.
Nut huggers.
Yeah, you know what I like is coach's shorts where you make a wrong move and everyone's seeing your right nut. A big hanger. Because I'm loose when I'm coaching. I'm in a good mood, so everything's hanging. It's not one of those walnut shell situations. It's a real hanger. Give me a nice pair of coach's shorts where everyone sees. It's like a Ritter in Three's Company situation. Just flip a ball out for the kids.
Look at this. You know what wide receiver went to UMass? Victor Cruz. You ever see Victor Cruz do this?
No, because he played for 10 seconds.
Salsa? How the hell did he do that, man? Is that pretty good or what? Andy Isabella. I coached him in the Senior Bowl. He went to UMass. This is where Rick Pitino went to college, man. And
someone went to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
He had Richard Gere out of all the actors.
I know. I never knew Richard Gere went to UMass on a gymnastics scholarship.
American Gigolo made me question a lot of stuff.
Is that pretty good or what?
Yeah. I realized finally that it was okay to appreciate the beauty of a man.
Natalie Cole, the great singer. You ever heard of Natalie Cole? No matter what I do or say, there's just no getting over you. I miss you like crazy.
He might not get another coaching job if this is the shtick.
I feel like you could stand and have a conversation with John Gruden for like 3 hours and not get a word in.
I have a feeling that that when you talk to him, it might be a very different situation of don't turn on the lights. Like I'm in a corner, not don't talk to me. I've given all I could give.
Easy. I miss you like crazy. God, I love that song. It makes me cry. Massachusetts football, man. Vlad Dukas was a great offensive guard.
You know what also made me cry? You know that Dawson's Creek, Joey went with Pacey. Dawson couldn't take it. He was on the deck. He gave her the chance. He said, hey, you got to live your life. And she goes, Dawson, you don't mean it. He said he did. Selfless.
They're freaking 21 conference champions they've won here. And they're on their way back. Look at this hoodie. Feel that?
Nice. Yeah.
This is where Isaiah Rodgers played cornerback. This is where one of the badass safeties, James Ehedibu, played. Remember him for the Jets and the Ravens? He played at UMass.
No.
You don't remember James Ehedibu?
I recognize the name. I don't remember him playing.
Killer in the Jets secondary.
They had a great running back named Marcel Shipp. Played right here at UMass. I'm telling you, man. Do you remember Greg Landry? You ever heard of Greg Landry, quarterback for the Detroit Lions? He played at UMass.
Was that like in the 50s?
Greg Landry? I have no idea.
I'm telling you, man.
That sounds like something like post curse.
They've got a proud alumni of great people. Look at this shirt right there. Feel that?
Yeah, feel that. They're hard.
Greg Landry, first round in the 1968 draft.
Yeah, I was kind of right. Yeah, feel that. Feel this shirt on my pectoral muscles. It ain't cold in here, but yet my areolas are shrinking like crazy. Look at that. Put a nice snow cone on there and see if I can't make a hole in it.
Look at this shirt right there. Feel that. You know who played basketball here?
Yeah, that's a chest of a man. Feel that. It's hairless. Like a seal. Feel that. Yeah, that's nice. You like that, don't you? Yeah. You could do laundry on that.
You know who played basketball here? How about Julius freaking Irving, man? Dr. J. Can you imagine walking down the street and seeing Dr. J in one of your classes? Good God. I mean, this is where Marcus Camby went. They've had a lot of historic people go there. Feel that. That's a nice shirt, man.
Can you imagine going to class and Marcus Camby was there? It would be like seeing Haley's Comet. He was spending all the money that he got.
Yeah, invalidating that Final Four run, Marcus Camby.
Yeah, it was weird that he chose UMass. Even being a youngster in Farmington Hills, Michigan, that seemed fishy.
Yeah.
UMass, baby.
Growing up in the bad section of Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah. Found his way to UMass.
That seemed a little like, I don't know if that's on the level.
Marcel Shipp played running back. They had a lot of really good backs. I went up there and worked out a couple guys. Michael Cox, Matt Lawrence.
And not for them to play for me, just for fun. Yeah, let's see how many push-ups you can do. Yeah, let's see how much it takes for you to puke.
Put on a pair of these short shorts.
Yeah, let's all dress up like each other. Let's go out to Chili's and matching outfits. See if we can't freak someone out. Let's dress like twins. Let's pretend we're brothers.
They've had a lot of guys.
Let's go on a road trip.
They've had a lot of guys that can tote the rock. Look at this UMass sticker right there.
Yeah, pretty.
You know who else coached at UMass? Dick McPherson. Great coach. Went on to the Patriots, Syracuse.
That was great.
Yeah, it was great when he was here.
And he was fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of false praise going on.
Nice guy. Really nice guy.
Well, not a
good coach.
Well, if he was a nice guy, you got to add a couple wins.
UMass, baby. Mark Whipple, great coach. Had a lot of very good offensive teams at UMass. Even Chuck Studley coached at UMass. I remember Chuck Studley. He was in the NFL as a hell of a coach.
Yeah, he was very Studley. You know who else was Studley? Ndamukong Suh. You ever see that guy take a shower?
God, I love that song. It makes me cry.
Yeah.
Jeremy Horn, Steve Schubert. They played wide receiver here. They had a guy named Taji Sharp. Caught some rocks.
He's reading
He could catch the ball away from his body. Thank you guys at UMass. I got a message here. We hope you enjoy the gear. Go UMass. It's from Coach Harris Simiak. Is that sweet or what? I got stickers, man. We're going to be stamping stickers all over the place. You know why? I ain't got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go. Let's go, Minutemen.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what Gruden's up to now. Maybe I take back that I'll coach again. Because the shtick is falling off.
Those meetings are going to get a little weird in front of all the players.
Well, no, because he's not like that. There's no way he's like that. It's like too much shtick. It's like, what was that show? It was like too much shtick. I can't take it anymore. Like, it's too much. All right, so we will be back. Chad Graff is at the joint practices going on in Minnesota with your New England Patriots. We'll talk to him.
Richard Gere, Victor Cruz, Joe Harris-Sivia, Andy Isabella, Natalie Colvin, Vlad Dukas, Isaiah Rogers. Look at this hoodie. James Ehedebu, Mark.
describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy, with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Great for me to get new looks. I was bummed out in 2-minute ended in Washington, and I think we had a good first 2 minute ended a touchdown. We needed a field goal to tie, so that's always good. And then coming back out of the second 2 minute, we had a good first play and took a sack and laying down. You can't do that. So things like that you learn and and if the look's not there, I think in 2 minutes just to find answers and find learn from that.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Chad Graff is the Patriots writer for The Athletic. He's out in Minnesota where they're having the joint practices. They'll, of course, play on Saturday, and that means you'll hear that here at this very radio station, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Chad, hello.
Good morning. How are things?
Yeah, good. Thank you for joining us. I know you're in a different time zone, so that's very nice of you to join us.
The 1 hour difference isn't making too much of a difference, but hopefully I'm not waking up the hotel neighbors with this. So I think we're all good.
No, I hope you're not staying at that kind of motel because you'll be waking up. The prostitutes are in and out like crazy.
If they can hear you just talking through the wall, that's a problem.
I mean, that's an hourly situation, that hotel. All right. So, by the way, Minneapolis in the summer is not bad.
No, it's incredible. I lived here for 10 years. Minnesota in the summer is like one of the best kept secrets. Lakes, cabins, the sun stays up super late. It's incredible.
All right. We were there for the Super Bowl. Explain the winter and why you guys live there. I mean, it was. We stayed. Hold on.
John, you live there, so you get to experience the month and a half of summer that you get around that 10 months of winter.
We stayed at one of those hotels, which was in sight of the Mall of America, where we were broadcasting live from. The high that week we were there, Fred, was what, 5 below? The wind chill was like 30 below for most of the week.
But we were also staying in a dump that was way outside the city. Like Minneapolis is a good city. That's the thing.
You don't get to
an underrated city.
You need to walk around catacombs to survive during the winter.
Look,
that's true. They have those like skyway walks.
Yes.
I do remember seeing more shell-shocked faces at like the lobby of the Mall of America as all of these national writers accustomed to going to New Orleans and Miami and all these cool places were sent off to. It wasn't just to your point. It wasn't Minneapolis. It was like the suburbs in Bloomington to a mall.
Yeah, where there was nothing. It was just such an asinine place to have the effing media. Because again, I was sort of excited to go to Minneapolis. There's so many cool bands that come from there. There's like a cool scene. And
First Avenue.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we went to First Avenue. We went to Paisley Park. Like we did all that touristy stuff. But But out there, who wants to go to the Mall of America? Like, unless you're a total hick, like a total hayseed, who the hell wants to go to the Mall of America? Great, a big mall. By the way, the recovery community, he'll tell you, Chad. Every recovering addict is out there in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Yeah, they got Betty Ford.
A little bit of dealing with the winters and getting through that.
Well, no, but it's just people go out there. It's like people go to Betty Ford and they hang around. Like it's like the most like recovery-friendly city.
Rochester, yeah.
No, it's the most recovery. It really is the most recovery-friendly city. There's more like halfway houses.
So
congratulations,
Chad. You got that. That's
it's
great.
not a bad thing to. It's not a bad thing to be known for. You look at your lack of sympathy. All right.
I love it. I love Minnesota.
I like Minneapolis. I think Minneapolis is a great city, but I love all those Midwestern cities. I love Chicago, Detroit. I love Minneapolis. I like all those cities. All right. Madison's a cool city. All right. So anyway, Chad, we were talking about Ramondre Stevenson not being involved in practice yesterday. What are you hearing about him?
He's dealing with an injury that I don't think is like a super long-term thing, but where this gets fascinating is, he's dealing with an injury that is setting up everybody to just heap praise on TreVeyon Henderson. I used to cover the Vikings, so I know some people with the Vikings, and walking off the field, the one thing that a Vikings coach said as he walked by me was that TreVeyon Henderson is a stud. And so that just kind of highlights, like, this is such a great opportunity for TreVeyon Henderson. And I think this injury is coming at such a bad time for Ramondre that I think when they drafted Travion Henderson, they probably envisioned him just as a third down guy. He's a good pass catcher. He can pass protect, and maybe he'll spell Ramondre here and there. All of a sudden, as we sit here in mid-August, I think Travion Henderson is going to get the bulk of the carries this season. And frankly, I think he's earned it. I just flat out think he's better than Ramondre Stevenson.
When you say the bulk of the carries, that's the fascinating thing. We've talked to a couple of writers over the course of the last month, and the consensus is this team now isn't really going to have a bell cow back. Henderson will get the ball most often, but that'll be pick a number, 45, 50, 60% of the time. Stevenson gets it 20 or 30%, and you get Antonio Gibson sprinkled in. How do you feel about this?
So here's where I'm at, is this offense just has no big play ability without Travion Henderson. That if you keep him on the sideline and, have Ramondre pick up 4.5 a carry, which is totally fine in other settings, I think you're just leaving so much on the table. He's the only guy who just has a ton of juice where when the ball is in his hands, it feels like he can take it to the house. Jamario Douglas is a good player, not quite that. Stephon Diggs is still a good player in his 30s, but after the surgery, not quite that. So this team that has ranked in the bottom 5 in explosive plays 3 straight years hasn't had an offensive player that it feels like you have to game plan around in I don't know how long, years and years since Brady. And so, you finally find your way into this running back who every time he touches it can take it to the house. I just don't know how you leave that on the sideline for like a more steady Ramondre. And maybe I'll concede Ramondre is a savvier back who can pick up an extra yard here and there when things aren't blocked perfectly. But what he can't do is what Travion did yesterday at the joint practices, which is just catch a very simple wheel route and take it 70 yards to the house.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it would be saving wear and tear on him. Like you have a 3-back backfield, and Travion Henderson is far and away your best running back, and just the presence of Ramondre Stevenson just saves him some hits. That's the way I would look at it.
That's fair. Especially if, they're going to have Travion Henderson returning kickoffs, and obviously your starting running back is not generally also getting banged up, taking some big hits on kickoffs. So, certainly an argument for that. I just think that he's such a weapon that even the kickoff returns are going to be exciting to watch, frankly, after years of boring kickoff returns, not just because of the Patriots, but also rules and everything else.
Chad, Vrabel was talking about Kyle Duggar yesterday. Duggar's been getting backup reps, and he said something about making sure that Duggar understands the coverage concepts in everything we do, which is an odd thing to say for a guy who's been in the league for a little while. This isn't a rookie. How much jeopardy is Kyle Duggar's job in right now?
A serious jeopardy. If we're talking about the starting role, I think there's a better chance than not that Kyle Duggar is a backup. And then that leads to, all sorts of questions for me of is there any world in which you try to move him or cut him? Cutting him doesn't make a lot of sense because of the contract that he signed. I think they take on more than $14 million in dead cap while only getting the benefit of $1 million. So not really a ton to be gained there, especially because, as we know, this team has tons and tons of cap space. And so who the hell cares if you save an extra $1 million off that? So I don't think his job is in jeopardy in terms of making the 53-man roster, but if he wants playing time, it's in massive jeopardy. The other day before they came to Minnesota, they did a little bit of light game planning just to try to get Drake May familiar with, hey, here's the safeties, here's the corners, here's what you're going to see in Minnesota. And so as part of that, they had a scout team defense where pennies that had the number of Vikings players, like Harrison Smith is number 22. And so I was just kind of curious, looking out there, it's funny to see which Vikings players they were mimicking. And all of a sudden, I'm looking around, and it's the 7th round pick and an undrafted guy. And Kyle Duggar was one of those guys mimicking Vikings defenders. And so, you don't go from that to a starting job very easily in a matter of a couple of weeks. So at this point, I think Kyle Duggar is probably not a starter.
What is your read, while we have a couple minutes here, what is your read on the offense, and more specifically the inexperienced left side of the offensive line? Everything I read was up and down. They struggled early. They kind of rallied late.
Yeah, it wasn't good. More down than up. Right now where I'm at with this offense is it feels like Drake May is very good. Travion Henderson is very good. And then the rest is a lot of question marks to me. Like, I came away from yesterday very impressed with Drake May after seeing J.J. McCarthy and what it looked like on the other side for a guy in the same draft class, kind of going through the same things. Drake was just better and looks better, has the traits. Like, I think in no world would you trade him for J.J. McCarthy. And so that was really positive. And yet, man, he had so much pressure in his face. Some of it from the left side, but also some of it from the right side. Some of it right up the middle. Garrett Bradbury didn't have his best day.
He sucks, though, right? Bradbury's no good, correct?
Yeah, look, the Vikings got rid of him. As he said yesterday, he was talking about going through the free agency process. He went, well, I didn't really think I was going to have to do that. I thought I was going to be back here another year because I had another year on my contract. Generally, when you're getting cut and you're not just doing it as a cap casualty, not a great sign. So he struggles a lot against big, burly defensive tackles. Bradbury's like a smaller, athletic center, and he just gets thrown right back very quickly. Like Kirk Cousins was his quarterback for a long time. Kirk complained and had some issues where defenders would step on his feet because they would get back there so quick. And so, that's not a great sign for your center. So I'm more bullish on this offensive line than a year ago because A, it can't get worse, but also B, while the two rookies on the left is going to lead to some lumps and some mistakes and some bad plays, I think that there's a lot of upside in having them grow together and get better together. And then next year they know each other. And so there's going to be lumps this year, but I think it's probably the right long-term play.
Yeah. It's just that defense from Vegas. I don't like the feeling of that. You got a kid with a lot of pressure on him at quarterback.
And
not pressure, just defensive pressure, but just actual psychological pressure on him.
And then you got Max Crosby, one of the best edge rushers in the league, lining up against those kids for the balance of the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, and you have a coach in Pete Carroll who's a defensive coach that is not inexperienced. It just seems like a recipe for not the greatest. But what do I know, Chad? What do I know? And the answer is nothing. All right, Chad, I'm glad you got to go back to Minneapolis where you spent 10 years. I'm in favor of that city. I don't like when people talk down on it. They talk down on the flyover states like, it's so great in Philadelphia or like Baltimore. I mean, these are not heaven compared to these other places. But, Chad, that's the way the world goes. All right, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone read him in The Athletic.
I love it. Thank you for having me.
All right, there you go, Chad. We will be back. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. I got an email. Says, yo, listen to your show way too muchly. You should totally do a supercut of your juicy Diet Coke, which is true. I have many. I have 3 or 4 during the 5 hours I'm here. Almost vomiting moments. That would be awesome. Almost vomiting. I don't know what that means.
Today?
No, just in general. He's saying that he listens too much and that I'm almost vomiting.
Okay.
In the videos Nick put off of us ripping on Felger, yesterday was a very mean show. Ripping on Grossbeck and ripping on Felger.
Yep.
And Nick made good videos. They're up at the at Toucher and Hardy account, and at Fred Toucher is certainly collaborating on them. And I suggest you watch these videos. They're very funny. Nick put the bicycle music. If you don't know, Felger was in a bike accident. And we got a photo from listeners of them hanging out with Felger hours before the accident.
Yep.
He's got his shirt very, very unbuttoned. He's exposing a great deal of chest. It's like a linen shirt, too.
He's living his best life,
You know,
man.
it's all Nantucket right there.
Oh, yeah.
Just like let that thing
Felger.
breathe.
He didn't have the Yak pants. Usually you have the salmon shorts when you go all in like
he
that.
had short shorts on. That's what he was going with. But Nick put a video up, and in that video, I'm drinking water, so I'm very proud of myself. I have a cup of water.
Put the
that I'm
DCs to
drinking
the
from.
side.
Well, John, if it's a thirsty morning, I can't just pound DPs and DCs.
Now, the Dr. Pepper and the Diet
I don't
Coke,
like the
how
Dr. Pepper in the morning. That's a mistake when that happens. That's
Okay.
a lack of planning. But what happens is that I will turn to water. There are moments during the show and many days where I will turn to water.
But when you're rolling, how many DCs in a 4-hour show?
3 in a 4-hour show, but if you count the pre-show and post-show, there can be up to 4.
That's approaching Francesa level.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Francesa situation. Like, a friend of mine texted me. He said Fat Joe said that he was drinking 30 Diet Cokes a day.
Jesus.
Which I do not do.
Oh, my Lord.
Because I'm not compulsive about any kind of eating or drinking non-alcoholic beverages. But
that's just a lot of liquid.
That's what I'm
taking.
saying. It's compulsive, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, it's a compulsion. I mean, he's Fat Joe. I mean,
Not
there's
to mention
obviously a lot of-
caffeine's a diuretic. Like
you're peeing a lot, which is so I do have to limit myself, but there are probably have been days where I've had 10 diet sodas.
Wow. I don't know how you control that. I don't know how you the sugar intake involved.
There's no
there.
sugar
I mean,
in
not
diet.
not the sugar intake, the carbonation involved. I control a gaseous the constant willing to burp on the air.
It doesn't. I mean, it happens from time to time, but it doesn't happen often. But it's the last hurdle to climb for me.
Okay.
I've given up all these vices. I've lost weight. The last hurdle to climb is the diet soda problem.
You've lost what, 40?
Whoa. So 35, then that's 2, so 45 pounds.
If you quit the Diet Coke, you'll lose at least.
That doesn't
another 10.
make you fat. There's 0 calories in it.
All I know is
that's BS.
When I cut it, I lost weight. When I stopped drinking, and I lost weight.
You were probably doing other things.
I lost weight,
but there are probably other things that contributed to that. First of all, if I lose another 10 pounds, I'll be 175, and I'll be 6'2", 175.
Perfect.
No.
You'll be a marathon runner.
Well, the marathon, I don't know how good that is. Now, look, could I look better? Absolutely. I don't know if that's necessarily losing weight, though. I think that's more sculpting. I'm not a very sculpted individual. I still have very supple breasts. Because my lower body contains no weight. Again, I have the legs of a Milan, a model walking the runways of Milan, a female model.
Mm-hmm.
If I shaved my legs, I could sell them on the internet to pictures. But it's posing as a woman. But I really do. If I was a woman, every girl I ever been out with, she's like, I wish I had your legs. I go, yeah, you do. Yes, you do. And but all my weight is carried in my midsection in my bosom. Mm-hmm. So could I sculpt that, Jonathan? Because if you put on muscle, that adds weight. So I would imagine my ideal weight is somewhere. I'm like 188 now. I'd imagine my ideal weight is somewhere between 180 and 185. but that would require putting on muscle.
You're right. You're doing all the right things. You're going to yoga class, right? You go to the gym. You're doing all the things.
I'm not going to the gym. I got to get in a better routine with the gym, but I did go to yoga yesterday. I left early, but I did go to yoga yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the hot one.
The exercises, you can do them all now. I know it's tough when you first start.
I'll tell you what happens is that this is a flow yoga, Jonathan. With at the end there is a meditation, which the meditation I can do because you lay there.
What's flow yoga?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. So what they'll do is they heat up the place, and then so you're really sweating, and the mat gets sweaty where you're slipping around. But what they do is they take you through a series of movements. Now, in this particular class, I can do all the movements, but there is like a combination of, say, 8, right? And she'll go through it twice, and then she'll be like, you have 5 minutes on your own. Now, I don't remember what we just did and like how to do it. Like I have no clue.
Can I get a cheat sheet over here?
I'm not alone in that. I see other like-minded people, and we kind of look at each other and give each other like, I don't know what's going on. But then there's some people that just go anarchy style, and they start doing headstands and like. I told you there was a guy who not yesterday, but the week before, that took his leg and moved it up to his head.
There's no reason to do that.
Like he was able to do. Well, I don't think a man should be able to do that. Like I don't think your hips are supposed to be able to do that. Women have hips to give birth and to give life. Men are narrow. Should be more narrow hip. Now there's guys like Nick, where they've defied gender with their bottoms, but for most men, you're narrow hipped. I have no ass. I'm very Caucasian. Like a very narrow hipped. I can't do that. Like sometimes they'll go bend forward, and I'm like, I don't even know. Like my body won't. Like it's not even my legs. It's like my hips don't. Adjust that way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And if I can't do it, no man should be able to do it. I am the bar of which all men should be treated.
I agree. I don't think that there's any reason to stretch yourself that way, short of being a ballet dancer.
Well, I mean, it looks cool, and then you're the best in class, and whoa, hey. Nate. Hello, Nate.
Hey, what's going on? I just wanted to tell you, the diet soda is no good because it still makes your body increase your insulin levels, and you also stimulate hunger.
No, it simulates. I know it
I'm
wants
not a
you.
doctor. I don't know.
All right. Well, then I don't care.
Why?
If it has 0 calories, it has 0 calories. Now, the argument I've heard is it makes you crave sweets because it's sweet.
Uh-huh.
That's what I've heard. But, I mean, 0 calories is 0 calories. Now, it might have carcinogens in it that cause cancer, but I got news for you. Something's killing you. And if it's Diet Coke...
Everything causes cancer.
And they don't even know sometimes. Like, remember when we were kids what they told you to eat? I'll go through it all. The food groups in the nutritional pyramid.
Yeah,
pyramid. Well, that's all out the window.
Yeah.
But back then, if you said that was wrong, they'd call you a maniac. Then watch the first Santa Claus. There's a scene where Tim Allen's getting fat. He's Santa Claus. And he goes into a meeting where they all order lunch. And there's people that order salads, but James Caan orders pasta with nothing on it. Like, that's his big diet food. And that was what, in the early 90s, was considered diet food. Pasta with nothing on it. It was the stuff on it that causes problems. Now, what do they know? Don't eat pasta. You'll get fat. So we all think we know everything. We all think we know everything. And I know science advances. But even in my life, 50 years on this planet, the things that people have said, legitimately said, they said red meat's bad for you. Now everyone's saying to eat red meat. No one knows anything. You know what I hate is when they tell you what dogs are thinking. If you really want to get into it.
Well, you have experience with that.
Well, I don't like it when they go, dogs are thinking this, because I'm like, there's no way you know. You've monitored their behavior, but you have no idea what they're thinking.
Yeah. You can kind of guess.
We have this thing as humans that we have to know. And there's so much you just don't know.
The problem is not admitting that.
Yeah, I mean, then you're airlifted out of some hospital in Nantucket because they can't even figure out how to look at your neck right.
Well, they should take the name hospital off that building.
No, they should just call it the helicopter pad. All right. We will be back. That was a lot of fun. I liked being mean. That was a lot of fun.
We got a quiz coming up, Fred.
All right, very good. We will have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports.
Lions, they have decided they are not going to sell controlling interest in the team. And Braintree plays its first game at the Little League World Series this afternoon, 3 p.m. start time against Irmo, South Carolina. Headlines are brought to you by the Albrecht Auto Group, Zoe's Auto Dealer. Purchase any new vehicle from one of their 8 dealerships and get the Albrecht Advantage, a 10-year, 150,000-mile limited powertrain warranty backed by Allstate Insurance. Connect with Albrecht at albrechtauto.com. I'm Ryan Johnston on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in around 30 minutes.
Pat's training camp is coming, and we'll be there to bring you every drill, every scrimmage and preseason game as the Pats get ready for a new season of football. On your home for all things Patriots, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's called Rising and Grinding.
Start your
Got
day.
your finger on the pulse, Fred.
Begin your
Seldom
day
right and never wrong.
right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
Kinda looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Drop his kid or pick his kid up from camp.
Oh, so he's gone. He left the show an hour early. I thought he was just missing the meeting.
Headed to Charlton.
All right, Zoe, this means that you have to take over Ryan's job. Tell her that. She has to take over Ryan's job. She's just sitting there watching her phone. She needs to step up and get in that seat.
A lot of wild hand motions from Zoe today.
Yeah. Well, this is her last day. I mean, she's a little broken up about it. I mean, she liked getting up and coming in. I mean, it was her. You should see her. I get her up every morning. It was. She loved it.
Huh.
All right. So the reason we're playing that is the Patriots, of course, are in beautiful Minneapolis, St. Paul, the biggest recovery city in all of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
People go to Betty Ford. They tend to hang around. All right, so what do we got here?
They're going to play the Vikings at U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis, but less than a mile from there is one of the better small music venues in the country, as you know, because we've been there. It's called First Avenue. It only has a seating capacity of around 1,500, and that building is celebrating an anniversary. It was on this week in 1983 that Prince recorded his iconic Purple Rain set on that stage for the movie that was released a year later. So
yes, the replacements in the Sorry Ma Forgot to Take Out the Trash era, before the first album's out, there is a professionally shot concert at First Avenue on YouTube, which is the best. Bad Brains at CBGB's around 82, and the replacements at First Avenue in 82 are the two best concerts I've seen on YouTube. Now, it was 7 when those things happened, but those are the two best concerts available on YouTube.
So Prince is obviously not the most famous musical artist, or is a famous, but not the only musical artist to perform on that stage. There are hundreds that have. I thought I'd test it to
Well,
you.
it's probably thousands that have, jackass.
Well, okay, thousands.
Hundreds. I mean, the place, hundreds in a year.
Some of those are repeats, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole study might do a five nights, stretch there, but I mean, Jesus, Jonathan,
Hundreds. I'd give you clues to see if you recognize him. I'll give you the clues, and you guys have to guess what band I'm talking about.
You have to participate if we're going through this ordeal. All right, go ahead.
September 27th, 1982, two seminal hardcore punk bands share a bill. The local band opens up for a band from D.C.
Okay.
Name both bands.
Husker Du and the Bad Brains.
Well done. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Not a bad bill.
Husker Du very, very fast when they first started, and then they proceeded to slow down. And I saw Bob Mould with Adam earlier this year, and I didn't like the crowd. It made me very sad.
What about the crowd?
It was just guys my age. It was just really depressing. It's just my guys my age that were super into it, and it was just like, this is me.
No,
the days were over. Bob. It's Bob. He was great, but it wasn't his fault, and it wasn't anyone else's fault. I mean, there was guys in T-shirts dancing. I didn't care for that. I mean, there was like a lot going on. I didn't care for it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead.
May 11th, 1994. The Fugees weren't big enough at this time to headline yet, so they opened for this late 80s, early 90s female rapper who is a TV star today.
Queen Latifah?
Brian Johnston.
I would never have gotten that.
Only because she's a TV star today.
She is? What is her show?
She's got a CBS show on CBS.
What was it? It's The Equalizer.
Okay.
She had a show called The Equalizer. It's kind of off that Denzel Washington thing, only different.
Has Queen Latifah ever been in anything that you? Well, you probably like The Equalizer because you are CBS's core audience. At 10 p.m. You've watched Blue Bloods.
I did, but I refused to watch that. Denzel Washington is The Equalizer.
So Living Single that she was on, while a very important show and way more important than I knew, like I guess it was so like incredibly groundbreaking to have a female black cast, and like shows wanted to kind of like, I guess it was really important, long story short. But I don't think Queen Latifah's ever acted in anything I enjoyed. She was in the movie that ruined Jimmy Fallon's movie career, that movie Taxi.
Yep, that's right.
Which I never saw. And, I don't know if she's ever been in anything that I've enjoyed.
I saw her, I was flipping around one night, and I saw her in this movie about a basketball player starring Common. It was called, I believe, Just Right, WRIGHT. And Common, the rapper, was a basketball player, played for the New Jersey Nets. And he fell in love with Queen Latifah.
Well, there's a false story right there.
Yes.
If you were in the NBA, why would you fall for Queen Latifah? I mean, you could get yourself Missy Elliott. I mean, come on.
Originally, he fell in love with her sister. And Queen Latifah was fun. He figured out that she was the one he was really in love with.
That's going to cause some tension between the sisters. All
Absolutely.
right, I got to go see it now. All right, what else?
This legendary New York City punk band headlined First Avenue in 1983 and again in 1986, but with a different drummer.
New York City punk band. Punk band or hardcore band?
Punk band.
All right, so in what years did they do this?
1983 and then again in 1986, but when they came back the second time, they had a different drummer.
A New York punk band. Okay, so it can't be the Misfits because they had broken up by 86.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, well, that's very difficult. A different drummer, I don't know. I mean, these punk bands, they trade out drummers like there's no tomorrow.
If you said hardcore, would you have a different answer?
If it was a hardcore band, that opens things up a little bit.
All right, let's do it. I will say this. I submitted this musical act to Adam, and Adam wrote this particular, so he might have mischaracterized it.
Okay. I don't know. The Cro-Mags. I don't know.
You got a guess, Ryan?
I have no idea.
The answer is the Ramones.
Oh.
Is this punk or hardcore for you?
This is punk.
Yeah.
But they never played Minneapolis before 1982?
83.
Oh, that's not a fair question.
Why
They've been a band for 5, 6. They've been a band for. I mean, the Ramones were on the downside of their career in 1983.
Just this venue, though. They might have played bigger places in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I know, but in the spirit of the competition, Ryan, you have to admit that the Ramones were on the downside of their career, 83, 86. So they'd Marky. All right, very good.
Okay. Very good. November 21st, 1988, this thrash metal band co-headlined with Motorhead, playing the first of half a dozen gigs at First Avenue over the years. Their last show was part of their 2019 farewell tour.
Thrash metal band. And they co-headlined with whom?
Motorhead. At First
Jesus
Avenue.
Christ. So they weren't big at the beginning or the end of their career. And they're a thrash metal band.
The farewell tour, 2019, they played First Avenue.
Yeah, so they weren't a big band. I mean, because they were playing First Avenue on their farewell tour. That doesn't speak highly of where they were at. First Avenue, not a big venue.
No.
Again, these shows you're mentioning are usually... The first two were at the burgeoning part of their career.
Right.
Now we're getting into the sad part of people's careers.
It's one thing to open for Motorhead.
Yeah, like you're co-headlining with Motorhead. I don't know, Cannibal Corpse? I don't know what the hell.
No.
Thrash metal
Better
band.
Better known.
I mean, it's not Megadeth. It's not Anthrax. It's not Metallica. It's.
No.
I mean, my Exodus. I don't know. Like what thrash metal band? These are such random questions.
I couldn't name a thrash metal band.
Answer is Slayer.
That's not true. That's a wrong question.
What's wrong?
Slayer's still playing. And there's no way they played First Avenue in the 90s.
Well, just because they had a farewell tour 6 years ago doesn't mean they stopped touring.
Okay,
1988.
Ryan, they play arena. They play stadiums. I mean, Slayer are a huge band. That's not a good question.
They weren't 6 years ago, apparently.
Well,
at least not in Minneapolis.
All right. Do me a favor, Ryan, and look up Slayer's last 18 tour dates.
Okay.
And it's not like they've had a resurgence.
They broke up at the end of 2019.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, and they didn't play First Avenue.
They reunited in February of last year.
Okay. And do you have any of the venues that they've played?
2019.
I bet you they played in front of 100,000 people. I bet you in the 2010s that they played in front of 100,000 people.
Right now, they have 2 shows booked for the rest of the year. One is in Louisville. One is at Hershey Park Stadium.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania.
And how many does that hold?
I'm going to guess that's 10,000 maybe.
Oh, no. More than that.
It's not that big of a place.
You would know because you did the minor league stuff.
I've been to Hershey Park a number of times.
All right, because they play festivals. All right, Jonathan.
16,000 seats in Hershey Park.
All right, so they're not playing First Avenue.
It said here they played. When I looked this up, it said they played First Avenue in
These
2019.
questions are very John-like in their wrongness. and
Maybe
not
this
in the
is why
spirit.
they broke up. Maybe this is they got in 2019. They're like, we're playing First Avenue. We've been around all these years. Like that's it. We're done.
I'm surprised no Slayer fan is calling up to really give it to John.
Fred,
violently, but hopefully.
You hate this band. You hate their fans, and you would have hated bouncing around on the room during either of their 1992
Okay, that's
shows.
Fish.
Correct.
Yeah, bouncing around the room.
Yeah.
The woman was a dream I had, though rather hard.
I don't know.
All 1,500 people bouncing around.
So the sister of this guy that wrote for Parks and Recreation, who made up the term humble brag, he OD'd, and she wrote a book about right before he died and after he died. His name was Harrison something, and he was a huge Fish fan. In his whole young life, he tried to get people to like Fish, and it was the one thing about him that no one could stand. Like everyone loved him, but like she went through all these old text messages he had with people, and he would be at Fish shows going like, they're playing Bouncing Around the Room or something, and people would go, leave me alone. Universally. The one thing about this guy who everyone loved was his love. That they hated that he liked Fish and tried to get him to like him. And he OD'd, which I blame Fish for.
When I was traveling around the minor leagues, we were in Norfolk, Virginia one weekend, and Fish was in town playing a couple of shows at nearby university. And there were people like camping in downtown Norfolk all weekend.
They were pretending they were cosplaying as poor people. And the thing is because their whole fan base is prep school kids and boarding school kids. That's and from that generation too. I mean, insufferable people. But the thing about it is it's just a series of unlistenable things, and it's for the best description of it I heard was it's music for people that don't like conflict. Like even Billy Joel in his songs talks about being like bipolar. Like there's like things in Billy Joel's songs that are uncomfortable. The Grateful Dead and Fish are for people that have no tolerance and no personality. Thank you.
Okay, I have one left.
Their personality is completely, it's like almost like they took Silly Putty and just put it over some hippie in 1965.
Hey, look at that.
Yes.
Yeah. One left. This is going to be a layup for you. Hometown band headlined First Avenue 5 times during the 80s to greater success than during their short run opening for Tom Petty.
The Minneapolis band opened up for Tom Petty, and then they headlined it 5 times in the 80s?
Yep. You've already mentioned them during this segment.
Oh, the Replacements.
There you go. Then couldn't find it.
Yeah, I blame Lorne Michaels for being precious.
Could not do that. But yes.
All
so
right.
First Avenue.
All right, there you go.
venue.
Yeah, well, we went, Jonathan, you and I went when we were down there in Minneapolis for the Super Bowl. Now, there wasn't much to be seen because there was no show, but I got my T-shirt.
Yep.
And that's all I needed. All right, we'll be back with our award-winning email segment in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, summer is here. We're talking about vacations, barbecue.
Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. If you want to email us, go to 985thesportshub.com and get our email addresses. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow at Toucher and Hardy. There are good videos up of us roasting Felger's bike accident. And there's a very funny comment from someone who's defending the Nantucket Hospital, which is really getting the joke. It's just like, all right, dude.
I'd actually like to read that.
It is funny. Like, it's long.
Oh,
and he's
my
not
God.
like a dick. Like, he's a fan of the show. But he just feels this need because his kids were born in that hospital. It's
All
pretty
right.
funny.
All
no,
right.
he's not like a jerk, but it's
Okay.
just like funny that. And it's also funny because he says, I'm the one making fun of the hospital, but the video is clearly all of us doing
Yeah,
it.
no, that was equal.
And
No, no, no.
like Hardy was saying stuff, if not worse, nearly as bad as me. And by the way, what do we know? What do we know about the hospital? It's a joke. They had to airlift them out, and it turned out like really nothing was going on. I mean, come on. But I'm very proud of these videos. They're very. I like
wrong
that
with
bit.
that.
And then later today, you can see my daughter's masterpiece as she is filmed an entire day in the life of the show. Now, we'll not have a post-show meeting because my son's getting his wisdom teeth out, and I desperately want to see him getting out of anesthesia. I've never seen it before.
By the way, Zoe wants to see it more than you do.
Well,
so.
Zoe was complaining because she's going to a friend's house, and I'm like, we got to go to Milo because
Yeah.
it's like I know where he is, and it's like not that close to her friend's house, and she scoffed, and I said, you don't want to see him effed up, and then she said she did because
Oh,
she
yeah.
has some questions she wants to ask him while
What-
he's
what-
under anesthesia.
What were the questions? Are you seeing anyone? What was the other
Zoe,
one?
come to the mic. These are easy. This is an easy thing. This is your last day.
No.
Come
These
to
aren't
the
going to
mic.
be hard questions.
These are easy questions. Okay. What do you want to ask your brother while he's under anesthesia? Can you hear me? What do you want to ask your brother? Just say one question. Oh, she is really having a problem with it.
Chip off the old block.
She wants to ask if, yeah, right. She wants to have she wants to ask him about the anesthesia.
Yeah.
Or not anesthesia. She wants to ask him if he has a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a girlfriend, and then she said she wants to slap him, but that might not happen.
No. Before we get to the email segment, Ryan and I were just talking. Do you mind talking about this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he is going somewhere pretty cool at the end of the month.
I'm going to go see Oasis at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Right after Labor Day.
I would like to see Oasis.
I was hoping they were going to come here, and they're not. So choices were New York, Chicago, Toronto, and L.A. And so my wife and I decided we'd plan a little trip out to Vegas for a few days, then go to L.A. for the weekend, see Oasis.
Yeah. I mean, seeing Oasis in like Manchester would have been insane.
Yeah.
I mean, just because they're so, it's hard to describe the amount of excitement in that area over Oasis. But I've never been in the Rose Bowl.
No, neither have I.
So that would be very cool. Kevin, not surprisingly, has an email.
Okay.
That says Slayer played the Armory in 2018 in Minneapolis on their farewell tour, but no listing of First Ave effing John. Of course. Of course.
My research said they played there in
Well,
2019.
This is Kevin. Freddie T. Love the show. I've been listening since you came to Boston, but dude, you are so off track when it comes to Glenn Hughes. Glenn is the voice of rock and roll. Just listen to him sing. He's in his 60s. There's no way Glenn Hughes is in his 60s. Look that up, Jonathan.
What am I looking up?
Glenn Hughes. He was the singer for Deep Purple and like Black Sabbath. He's in his 60s, and he still has a better voice than anyone in rock. He also tours incessantly in great venues. He's in demand by the best musicians. He has a legion of loyal fans. Okay, goof on it. That's from Kevin. Kevin, I do question the amount of people wanting to hear Glenn Hughes interviewed for 2 hours. That's all I'm asking.
His current band's called the Dead Daisies.
Yes.
He's 73.
Yes. Okay. So big Glenn Hughes fan. I know he's in his 70s. I mean, did you know who Glenn? Did either of you or Ryan know who Glenn Hughes was before I brought his name up today?
No.
Okay.
Never.
No.
Yes. And so if you have a show that's broadcast internationally on a company that sent literally satellites into space to broadcast it, and you have a 2-hour Glenn Hughes interview that even I can't sit through, and I know who he is, that was what I was saying. John says, hate to disagree with you, Fred. As much as I regret I never got to see Prince live, and I think he's one of the best musicians ever, U2's halftime show when all the names of the 9/11 victims were displayed is unforgettable, and the Pats won their first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Our arch enemy at the time, the Colts led by Peyton Manning, won the Super Bowl that Prince played in, which should have been, come on, man. Now, you were judging it on outside circumstances. It's not Prince's fault 9/11 didn't happen.
The U2 show was good. I remember that. Superdome, and they rolled all the names up of those that had died in 9/11. That was good, but no, having seen both of those, Prince's was better.
Yeah, and you can't go, well, they put the names of the 9/11 victims up because that's something that is completely dependent on. It's not the band; it's dependent on the moment.
No, Prince just.
No, it's
walked
great
out
they
there
did that.
No, but Prince just walked out there and killed.
Yeah,
It was
and
really
U2,
amazing.
it was a very meaningful thing, but that's not dependent on the band. U2's performance is not indicative of that moment. And also the Patriots winning that Super Bowl for some of us was not fun. Mitch from New Bedford said, hi, Fred, I've noticed you've had on a few sports lady reporters on the show lately. Is this just a coincidence, or has Team Freddie T installed a new offense? No, we had Charlotte Walder on because of her coverage of the Jordan Hudson situation. And I think she said in that her husband, so I think she's married.
Yes.
And then when there are some female reporters that we really like having on, and also with the Patriots season and them being newsworthy of a guest every day, our Rolodex, we start trying new people out. No, it has nothing to do with me. As much as I would like that to be the case, no. In fact, other than Charlotte Wilder, I don't know what the women look like that we've had on.
No.
They are not to White Knight, Jonathan, but they are been brought on entirely for their sports acumen. It
Correct.
has nothing to do
And
with.
we are nothing if not treating people equal.
In fact, them being women had literally nothing to do with us booking them.
Yes. Yes. Charlotte Wilder was there because she had the interview. She talked to the person we were curious about.
Yeah.
Could have been a guy. A guy had her on. We had Pablo Torre on, who had covered the.
No. I thought it was a funny email, but what I
Yeah.
am saying is that they have not been put on. Only what the sports they cover, the knowledge they have.
All right, Richie.
No. I wanted this because it says you're
Okay.
absolutely right.
Okay.
I haven't read the email yet, but I like it.
Okay, very good.
Ben says, and then you can handle the rest of the segment. It says, Freddie, I caught part of your rant about how dietary suggestions are constantly changing. You're absolutely right. Every few years, there's a new dietary boogeyman. Carbs, fats, sugars, seed oils, food dyes. And the bottom line is what you eat is not nearly important as how much you eat. None of these things are particularly better at making you fat, but they are delicious and easy for you to overeat them. So if you block out the noise and track your calorie, it all works out in the end. Like Rogan-y people, what they suggest is nonsense. The idea, and I like cold plunging, I like it at the gym, but the singer of H2O, it doesn't matter who he is, but he sold his car in order to buy a cold plunge. There's no way going into cold water. Bill Burr has a thing about this when he was on Joe
He's going to
Rogan.
live longer because
Louis
he
CK does
has
too.
to walk everywhere.
Louis C.K., well, he's also afraid to try, but Louis C.K., I think that's more of it. He let that out at the end when he was describing. But Louis C.K., I don't listen to Joe Rogan, and I don't believe anyone out there does. I don't believe you're listening to a 3-hour interview with a mediocre comic interviewing a physicist. I just don't think you are. I believe you download it, but I do not believe that you listen to it. And I'm not hating on Joe Rogan at all. I don't care. I just don't. If Joe Rogan was on the radio, no one would listen to him. And it's not because radio's dying. It's because it's just not entertaining. If we get good ratings. A lot of people, this particular station, a lot of people do. With just radio, podcasting, anything, a lot of people listen. And they're listening in real time, which is more valuable if you're an advertiser. But if I had a physicist on, and let's say Joe Rogan's got 30 IQ points on me. If I had a physicist on for an hour, our ratings for that hour would be an absolute disaster. There's just no way. It's not of interest to enough people. But if you follow like this crap, I mean, I'm sure all of these things are like sort of good for you, but the idea that they're adding years onto your life, there's no way. I mean, you got people like Livshatz talking about standing on the soil, and then we have a lady on and she's defending it. I mean, it's just crap.
No seed oils at all.
Okay.
And maybe that's
Sorry,
right.
Dan,
but if that's the thing that kills you.
So you're telling me that I've been wasting my time going out in my bare feet and rubbing my feet into the earth?
I'm sure it grounds you and it gets you in a very present moment, and it locks you mentally into the earth,
which is valuable.
Of course,
Molecular structure of your like cells.
Like walking on grass is nice. Like I like walking on grass. The feeling of it in my bare feet. It might
spend your life trying to get present, trying to get here.
I walk my dog in a wooded area almost every day because I think that it's good for me mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that the trees are, importing and changing the molecules of my body? No.
Just talk to Esoteric about walking your dog. And
Jesus Christ,
right.
with those dogs in Esoteric.
It's
They're
everywhere.
crawling around statues.
Every day, yeah.
Every day something with those dogs.
That's right. I have a email here from Ernie in Westford. He disagrees with you. He says,
No, I don't like this.
Fred, I swear to God, I'm reading this directly. I swear to God, Fred, I got off the DC. I lost 10 pounds. You're way wrong.
Okay, but if I lose 10 pounds, that's not a benefit to me. I gotta get more muscular.
No,
I've lost the weight.
It's the argument about 0 calories. And
Okay, but John, I've lost 45 pounds drinking an assload of diet soda.
Just imagine how much better you'd be.
But the thing is, I don't want to weigh 10 less pounds. I'd like to be in better shape and be like more defined, but that doesn't come with losing more weight. Believe me, I barely eat, and it's not even from any trying to diet. There's probably something wrong with me. I probably got a thyroid problem. But nonetheless.
One last one.
And I'm not telling you that I like look great with my shirt off or anything, but I don't. I am 6'2". This isn't a hinge 6'2". And if I'm 6'1.5", it's because I've lost a half inch being old. And when I have my shirt off, I'm hairy. I got boobs, and I got a bit of a gut. I'm not telling you that like I'm an Adonis. But I'm telling you, 10 more pounds, I'm just going to look bad still. It would be like I lifted weights and got like muscular. That would be, or some kind of tonality. And I think if I added weight, if I added muscle, I would at least stay around where I weigh now. Now you go.
Okay.
Last one. Jesus
one.
Christ, you're already with the dumb contest. Now more email.
Richie and Needham said, you heartless bastards haven't mentioned the Braintree Little Leaguers once. They play in the Little League World Series.
That's not true today.
This afternoon.
That's not. We've mentioned it today, and we had the first base coach called in on their way to that game.
On that 4-hour bus ride.
I support the kids in Braintree. It's a lot of baseball.
So if they
as a 12-year-old, it's a lot of baseball.
Double elimination tournament. Ryan's been mentioning it all morning. Irmo, South Carolina, 3:00 from
I mean, it's a great experience for those kids. It's great that they're going to be on TV. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of baseball, and they practice every day. And this is way, way late for a kid that age to be playing baseball. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just a lot.
It's a lot. Well, I asked that question. They've been going at it, not on this all-star team, but their season started in April. And here we are in mid-August, and school starts in 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, like Little League started in June, May. I mean, like in May. Like it's a lot of baseball, and they play every day. My son played on a Williamsport team. Now, they didn't get out of the immediate district because of that Brookline team, with Jerome McGinley as a coach and Matt Suzaka's kid on it, and they did not perform well. I can't tell you that they did, but I mean they practiced every day, so I could only imagine this is probably 6 weeks longer than they played.
Braintree, by the way, undefeated, district, sectional, state tournament, New England regional, didn't lose once. Pretty good.
Well, it's going to hurt if they do lose. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we'll be back, and then I got to get out of here. So let's hurry this up. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub.
Talking about, someone said U2's post 9/11 Super Bowl halftime show was better than Prince's. And people will make that argument. It's really between those two. And I'm not a U2 fan, so whatever. But I said that, it's like it's not dependent on U2 or Prince that 9/11 that had followed 9/11. Now U2 did a great job of being that band, but there's like an outside force. And Timmis says, it's not Prince's fault that 9/11 happened. It's solely on Mark Wahlberg.
I wouldn't have gone down that way.
Because
That's right.
He wasn't on the plane if he would have been.
That's right.
Is that the, notwithstanding like mental breakdowns or intoxicated moments? And by the way, there's a Charlie Sheen documentary coming out on Netflix next month that looks phenomenal.
Yes.
They have his drug dealer. They found his drug dealer.
Yep.
They have his ex-wives. Like, it's going to be great. And, like, Sheen's a great guy. Like, we had him in, and like, he was great guy. And everyone that knows him, like, attests that, like, he's just a great guy, but an incredibly flawed human, which I think in some ways is a kind of a positive quality for how much I'll like someone. But to my own detriment sometimes. But that is going to be something else. That is something I'm very much looking forward to. All right, Jonathan.
Couple things. I have one thing, and Ryan has one. We have an update on Cleveland Browns' fifth-round draft pick, Shedeur Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
He arrived for his first exhibition start with an entourage, you will remember, and then styled in front of the cameras.
If you don't know what John is saying, there was a guy, and this isn't us being fuddy-duddies. I think you know the show well enough if you're listening. He literally had, and it was sort of funny, and if he was trying to be funny, okay, but he had a guy pulling a speaker that was playing music and had neon lights on it, and a guy holding like a staff. like a staff. Now, if that was to be funny,
no,
then that's great.
It wasn't.
But if it wasn't,
no,
then he's a dork.
And the worst part about it was, it's one thing to walk by reporters who were filming you arrive. He stopped before he went into the locker room and stood there with his arms crossed like a 1980s hip-hop superstar and just sat there and made sure with a big smile that everyone understood the vibe he was arriving with.
So if he was making fun of it, I don't know what his intention was. If he's really smart and was making fun of it, then I applaud him. But if he wasn't, then he's a dork. So I'll refrain from judging him, but go ahead.
You will remember he threw a pair of touchdown passes again. Backups.
Yes, it was the best I've ever seen.
Yesterday, he was held out of a joint practice with Philadelphia after apparently hurting himself beforehand. ESPN's Sal Paolantonio has more.
Oh,
I said
he's become
ESPN's
very quiet.
Sal Paolantonio has more, Ryan.
Wow.
Sanders complained of oblique soreness during the warm-ups this morning, and they made a decision to shut him down. They had planned to use him in the joint practices with the Philadelphia Eagles today, but they decided to shut him down, make sure that he's okay, so maybe he can come out here Thursday for the last joint practice.
Well, the next
Someone say he's a pain in the ass.
the next joint.
Home run, Fred.
Well done. That's a walk-off. We're almost finished.
Oh, yeah, that was really funny.
It was good. So the next joint practice with the Philadelphia Eagles begins at 10 a.m. No sign of Shedeur, at least not yet.
Okay, so Flacco's starting for this team in the beginning of the season. And I get the fascination with Shedeur Sanders. I am too. That draft was fascinating when he was falling. But the reaction as to why, and we have heard through people that talk to the coaches of the Cleveland Browns that Shedeur hasn't exactly been a sponge for the information that he's been getting.
That's correct.
That he is not picking up the offense. And this is straight from the offensive coordinator. If that's true or not, whatever. But, I mean, I believe that happened. So he's not starting.
As of 2 weeks ago, he was fourth on the depth chart.
But the reasoning that people come up with it is just so aggravating, as if the Cleveland Browns in the NFL don't want a brash, popular quarterback. That's absolute nonsense. And then this racial component comes into it, which is a factor in life. I'm not naive. It's overlooked. I get it. But with short order Sanders, stop it. If it means winning games and selling jerseys, like the fact that he's black, now 20 years ago, absolutely.
But no, not now.
But not now. The number one pick in the draft was a black quarterback, by the way, who's transferring all over the place and had character questions too.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, real quick before we go, Ryan has something good here.
All right. So yesterday in L.A., Julian's Auction House had an auction of over 400 items that had been owned by Larry King. Now, there's a lot of
How many drool cups and diapers?
There's a lot of baseball memorabilia in here, autograph balls. There's books signed by people that he had on the show, all of this. Someone purchased a piece of the background from the old Larry King live show with the, dots,
Kramer.
Like the. How much do you think they paid for what is essentially a 3-foot by 2-foot panel of the background of the Larry King show?
Okay, you're kind of selling it that it went for more than I thought, but honestly, $200 is honestly $200.
$2,200.
Oh my God.
$2,200. Now,
because that stuff's worthless. I mean, that's not going to be resellable. Like,
yes,
it's worthless.
But how about this, Fred? For the low price of $1,150, somebody purchased nesting dolls from the O.J. Simpson trial. So you've got Lance Ito, the judge, is like the biggest nesting doll. Then O.J., then Marcia Clark, then Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro.
Now that I'd want.
$1,100.
See, I'd pay.
The estimate from the auction house was $50 to $75. And it went for $1,100.
That's a conversation piece. That's like a fun piece to have. I mean, it's always fun to celebrate someone's murder, as of what the person who bought that's doing. All right, everyone, have a great day. I want to see my son under the influence of these narcotics they're giving him to get his wisdom teeth pulled. It's going to be a real confessional. Now, I'm not taping it, but it will be a real confessional situation. Zoe, everyone's going to be looking out for your video. So